autism. But at the end of the day, he's still a guy. He's still a male. He still got those
Right.
feelings. So none of that stopped.
Plus it's on the outside. So women see the gen biology, right? The biology of women. Ours is inside. The friction is way different. Men's is on the outside. Their friction, underwears, pants, all
When
of
they
that
wake
stuff
up.
starts to friction because my grandsons just went through that where their stuff started to now when you have little boys, you understand it always gets that friction and they have little hard-ons. That's something
Yeah,
for
especially when they wake
babies.
up. It's like,
That's something that happens even when they're little, and you be like, okay, but now they're at an age where they see it and they're kind of now conscious of it. Like, okay, what's this? That's the conversation my daughter had to have with them. And she was like, oh my God, I don't even know how to have this conversation. But they come to her like, this is what's going on. So it's like this is a natural process. You're gonna go through these times where this friction happens. It's gonna have a mind of its own in a minute, and you're gonna be at school going through this. So try. My daughter was like, try to think of other things. That's all you could do. She's like, think of other things because she's like, it's gonna start to probably be a problem because little boys go through this. This
yeah,
is a
they do. They watch a show and the little girl and they love,
right.
that's young.
And it was because they watch a lot of anime, and unfortunately, anime women are overly sexualized, right? So now, unfortunately, they can't watch anime the same no more because now it's like, okay, we're going here. So it is again having conversations to where your
Patience,
children
yes.
are open enough to come and talk to you, where they
Hmm.
have, where they, or at least have like that auntie or uncle that they can go talk to. My nieces and nephews used to call me all the time with shit, and I would be like, all right, so let's have this conversation. Parents don't want to have this conversation. I guess we have this conversation where they have someone that they can
Yeah.
talk to. Because again, I'll say I didn't have that. So that ended up fucking me up a lot mentally, a lot of
Yeah, trying
damage.
to figure it out on your own, or like I said,
Right.
going to wrong sources, to
Oh
other
yeah. I
people
mean,
who's now giving you the
I've
wrong
even been
information.
even been where I've had polyamory. Is it polyamory? Couples try to pull me into their you know what I mean? Into their life. I mean, it's crazy when you are so confused about your sexuality, there's a lot of predators out there.
Hmm.
Okay. And you really have to find support for someone to guide you in a way that's best for you, but also best for your well being. And I think that's where we're missing the ball on a lot of this stuff. We're not really advocating and being there to really help someone work through their issues. We're just, oh, let's go with whatever the fuck is out there, whatever's in. And we're
Right.
not looking at these big companies that are using them.
Hmm.
They're pushing same thing, pushing drugs, pushing surgeries. It's money. But people are losing their jobs. We got drag shows with toddlers. I mean, how far does it have to go before we as people say, okay, all right.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, as an individual, like back to the drag, that performer, how did that performer not see that was wrong to say, I refuse to
He was a
perform
leopard. What was that? A
for these
leopard?
children? Like,
Was that
as an individual, as a
leopard
person,
speedo?
as a as a human, how did he not see that that was not a good like, how did he feel that that was okay for him to do in a room full of toddlers? As a
Well,
person, how did he feel like that was okay?
because it's inclusion. Everyone should watch a drag show, apparently.
With cheeks out? My toddler don't need to see your booty
Doing
cheeks.
splits on a chair.
Exactly. And some black, my toddler do not need to see your booty cheeks. No. Mm-mm.
I just, again, instead of us being pushed to be this narcissistic, look at me society, can we get some common ground where everybody
Hmm.
is safe? And although I don't believe in the public school system, if I had kids, they wouldn't even be in the public school system, how I feel about it. But for the people who do, I don't think you have to devalue your beliefs so that your children could go to school. There's got to
Hmm.
be a common ground where if you guys stop talking about religion because of all the diversity in there, then why are we pushing people to learn and believe shit that parents aren't even ready. Why is it homework, gender affirming shit in homework, and these kids haven't even learned biology of a man and a woman? How's the 8-year-old have a sexualized homework assignment and you haven't even gone through a sex ed class?
I was
Because
just
we
about
were
to
in
say
what,
that.
11 or 12 when we went through sex ed.
Yeah,
How's
I
an
think sixth
8-year-old
grade.
going through this class? Somebody make it make sense.
And that's what I'm saying. It starts with people. Someone needs to say, this is not right. No, this,
Well,
and have them fight and take it out of the curriculum. That
right,
should not be a part of the curriculum, not at that age.
right.
You know,
Well,
at
there's
the
a
end of
lot
the
of
day,
people who
somebody needs to
are.
say something.
You guys want to know how you do it? If you're watching and you're listening to this, how you do it is you get into those public hearings, you get into those PTAs, because let
Yep.
me tell you, the stronger the PTA, the stronger your schools are. The more you get involved in your child's school, the more you get involved in the
Mm-hmm.
curriculum. The more you go to the hearings, they have public hearings about everything in your city, in your state. This is the
Mm-hmm.
part that we get involved as people. We're not just sitting on the couch. We're not just talking about it. We're not just saying what we're going to do. We're actually
Yep.
like, you know what? Enough is enough. Let's get involved. Let's not wait until it hits your door. Let's get out there. And the only way that's going to happen is if people start getting into their communities and sitting in those places, sitting in those places
Mm-hmm.
and voicing. And I've seen a lot of parents sit up in these council meetings. So it's not like some people aren't doing it, but I definitely feel there needs to be more. There
Oh,
needs to be
definitely.
more attention, more talking about it, more people that are saying enough is enough. Because I don't feel like if you're a parent, and I have been a parent who's been like, shit, here goes a conversation I wasn't ready for, right? But if my child had come home with some of the crazy shit that's going on now, it would have been
Mm-hmm.
like, what the fuck? How do I have this conversation? If she would have came home with homework at 8, I would have flipped the fuck out. I would have flipped out and been at that school. And I've been at my daughter's school quite a few times to voice my fucking opinion against the bullshit that I think that they do. But never has it been what's going on now in this day and age.
Yeah, I don't like, even with the daycare, and that the person who, the for one, the director of the daycare, the person who plans the trip. This went around to, and everybody agreed. No one said no. This don't seem, no. I don't
You know
think.
what the superintendent or the principal said? We don't know all the itinerary on the field trip. We cannot give you all that information because we weren't told. One, why are y'all planning a field trip? Because last I checked, when they did the field trip to Nutcracker, y'all had a program of what was being played in the Nutcracker, right? There's
Exactly.
the Nutcracker, whatever other show, and there is a itinerary of where
The
the
music,
where
the
we're going to.
songs, everything.
Last I checked, that's how you did a field trip. Or y'all went to a zoo. Oh, we know what's at the zoo. What's at the zoo? There's monkeys and fucking
Yep.
lions and shit. Is there anything
Hmm.
else that we need to know about this at the zoo now?
No,
You
that's what
know,
I mean. Like with the daycare, there's a director, because I worked in a daycare before. There's a director, there's a teacher, there's a planner. So when these came across their desk, and this is what they said, we're going to have this performance, everybody agreed to say this was a good idea. No one said, no, this is not. Like, how did everyone think that that was a great idea, that it got passed to say, yeah, we're going to have this drag queen perform for these toddlers? Like, who? How? It had to been. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't even know how that even exists. Like, how did that even happen? No one speaking up.
because again, if you speak up, you're transphobic.
Right, right. No one wants, I guess, to offend, but
This
when
cancel
something is
culture,
wrong, it's wrong. They're toddlers. Like,
right?
there's no way anybody thought that that was a good idea. And if you thought that was a good idea, or you didn't, and you didn't speak up, then you are responsible for this type of stuff. Like, how are you cool with the fact that you agreed to this performance for these toddlers? Like I said, even back to the performer himself.
Right, right. Yeah. I, I don't agree with it, any of it. And I feel for the people being affected. And as women, we're
Hmm.
being affected. We are being affected hugely. And the children are. It is in so many ways, it is an attack on children and women. And if we
Hmm.
don't look at that agenda that's being pushed out there, there is an agenda. There's a huge one. And we
Hmm.
have to move accordingly. Because, like I said, you guys can look it up. There are scientists that are trying to create life in a bag.
We have to stand in our truth. We have to stand. That's what it is. They want us to believe we can be replaced. They want us to believe we don't have the power that we do have. They want us. It all starts with that. If you notice back in the days when they did, uh, slavery and all that type of stuff, they didn't teach them how to read. They didn't do all that. They kept them handicapped so they don't know the power and they don't know what they
Right.
can do. And that's what they're doing with us now. They want us to feel like we're worthless, like we can't do this, we can't do that. So then we'll fall back, because if you think about it, manipulation and brainwashing, and
Right.
people start believing, yeah, my voice ain't gonna matter, and
Right.
everybody starts feeling like that, then yeah, everybody falls back and they get away with these laws, and they get away with things that they're doing. And that's where I think we have to know and believe in ourselves and how much power we really do have, and that we are women. We matter. Shit, we matter. Like, people don't understand. Without us, okay, dudes got their little sperm, whatever, but if we decide not to push that baby out, they won't be life. Like,
Right.
you could drop your nutsack in a female all you want, but if I choose not to birth this child, that life won't be happening. So we have more control than what people think it is. Yeah, okay, he got his sperm, and it takes two. It definitely takes two. But if I choose to not have that child, your sperm was useless. So I mean, you can't do it by yourself, bruh. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Right.
we do matter. We are a important part of society.
Right. L to the yeah.
It's crazy how they make us feel like we're just nothing when we are everything. We are fucking everything. Like,
Definitely.
and women need to start believing in that. We are everything. We make the world go motherfucking round, because if we decide not to produce, then what? These dudes cannot do it by themselves.
Mhm. Even when you look at, like I said, spending power, we're more than likely to buy tickets. We're more than likely to go to concerts. We're now, maybe men have it down as sports, they're spending in sports. But when you look at shopping, when you look at travel, when you look at concerts again, when you look at all of makeup, all of this stuff, women are the ones that are backing all of these things. We have power in numbers, and that's where we have to
Hmm.
start getting smart. That's
Exactly.
where we have to start getting smart, because we need to take our money and we need to think about, how am I putting this money and who am I putting this money into? And who's, you guys, and I talk about this all the time about, get more into the where you're spending your money. What is this company? Who do they back? What is their agenda?
Hmm.
What are they tied to? All of these big ass companies are publicly traded. There's a lot of shit you can find out about them if you do your diligence. You
Yeah.
know,
What's their views on women, and because a lot of
the
them
stocks
are,
they
of
have,
course,
you could look at what
they're
stocks
ran
they
by
have.
men, and they have their views, and
Mhm.
these men have their views, and they don't change their views. So like you said, you can definitely find that research on what he said or what was said, and the person who runs the company, the CEO or whatever, and how they feel. So you are truly right about that. We do need to start looking into and seeing what we're supporting.
Yeah. Yeah. What are we supporting? Who are we supporting? Um, to me, even I've said, like, even in entertainment, I think that a lot of the younger entertainers, they don't give a fuck because they're making their money. And then you
Hmm.
see a lot of them when they get older, then all of a sudden they switch up because they're, oh shit, look at all this damage I've done to generations as I've overly
Hmm.
sexualized everything. And we ain't even gonna talk about Little Nas. What is, y'all just doing too fucking much. It wasn't enough to just be outwardly gay on stage. Like, and you know what the crazy part is? I loved Sam Smith. I loved Sam Smith
Hmm.
music. But now I'm like,
Hmm.
you just doing too
Hmm.
fucking much.
That's
Wait
so
a minute,
Like,
wait a
true.
minute, wait a minute. Did you see Lil Nas X Playboy cover?
I saw. I think he has a pink. Is it some pink outfit?
No, the
Oh,
Playboy
oh
cover.
no, I didn't see that.
Google the Playboy cover.
I don't even know
Uh,
if I want to at this point. I'm
no, no. If I can't unsee it, you can't
uh-uh,
unsee it either. Uh-uh. I'm gonna
Katrina
need
gonna
you.
send it to everybody.
I'm gonna need you
I'm
to
I'm
Google the Playboy cover. I
I'm
just need
uh-uh. I'm tired.
I'm gonna need you to Google the play. Matter of fact, I'm finna look it up right now for you.
I
I
think
need
seeing
you.
Little Nas.
She
I
gonna
think
share her screen. She gonna make sure we see it.
I think
Wait a
seeing
minute.
Little Nas twerk on the devil was enough for me. I think
Right.
I'm finna look it up right now. Hold on. Look, what they say, hold my beer. Hold my beer. Hold on.
it just like again, when does it end for ratings? And yes,
Right.
it is going to be. I don't watch these people. It's crazy because they start out really good. I will love their music. Then they'll do some crazy shit. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm over it. I am someone who does where if I say this is too much, you're doing too much, I will stop watching you. I will stop supporting you. I will
Mm-hmm.
stop backing you. I will not spend my money in that particular place. And that's
Mm-hmm.
something that I do stand by, especially just over the last couple years of just looking at how people move and you're free to change your beliefs however you would like, but that doesn't mean I need to support you. And I just think when we're overly like someone, if you come out a certain way and you attract a bunch of children and teens, and then all of a sudden you switch up so drastically and overly sexualize everything you do, what does that say about you? And we know the
Mm-hmm.
Illuminati is a thing, and we don't want to say that name too much because I don't want them coming for me. But
No.
we know that y'all start selling kids and all that shit when it gets to
Mm-hmm.
a certain extent. So what
That mighty
people
dollar, people are selling their soul for that
they
mighty
are
dollar.
after your children. If y'all don't know that these kids, how many Katrina, we talked about that earlier with the kids in child supposed to be child protective services. You got over 600 and something what kids that were missing in one state. Was that Missouri or wherever? It was like one state, it was like 600 and something kids, I think, that was fucking missing, went missing. How one state
Mm-hmm.
lose that many kids?
Exactly. I remember back a
Yeah.
couple of years ago, I think it was Africa when all those girls got missing. They never found them. They never talked about it again. Like it was a whole bunch of them just went missing.
These people ain't just in child. They say child sex slavery, y'all, but it's
Mm-hmm.
deeper than that. The rabbit hole goes deeper. It's
Mm-hmm.
some very seductive shit going on,
There
and
is.
these
I was watching,
people
like,
eat.
especially in the music industry, they have
They
like
torture these
parties
children.
and
They
little
torture.
spots. Yeah,
They
little
torture
spots
them.
where you know what you come in to do. You're there, you get your ticket, and it's, they signed a little disclosure where they can't.
Mhm.
And there, yeah, I remember I was saying it about Usher when he was little and P. Diddy little thing, and he was 14, Usher. So
Right,
it's like they really, and you got to remember, they all there. So they all have the same secret. So
right,
no one can't tell, because if you tell on me, you're telling on yourself that you were there.
right.
They even said like some pastors was there, and so it's like they're not gonna tell, because then you'll be telling on your own self. That money is crazy, yo. That money and sexuality,
Wait a minute.
crazy.
Can y'all see that? Can y'all
Yes,
see that? Do y'all see that?
really.
I can't with you, Katrina.
Can y'all?
Is this really
Bye,
Playboy?
people.
What
Yes,
does it say? Booty boy? What does it say?
no, that's
Boxy
Playboy.
boy.
Bati
Oh,
boy?
Botsy boy.
Yeah,
Okay.
but
You
it's
know the
the
Jamaicans is having a field day with this shit.
right,
Oh, yes.
but it's the Playboy cover. That's the Playboy cover.
Wasn't Playboy women? Am I
Right,
wrong?
right. But he did this for Playboy cover.
So you just can't create the gay version of Playboy and put men on there?
I don't
I
know.
mean, I'm just saying, I'm just asking.
I don't know. I have no clue. Because, like you said, all I knew was like it was women, real, like women. Because the fantasy of the bunny and the, Like if you do the history of Playboy, that was fantasy.
And now I know that this is some people's fantasy and y'all do what you want to do. But I mean, again, and I don't look at Playboy or any of that. But again, here goes a space where women dominated and now it is taken away. And
right.
I keep saying it, like Caitlyn Jenner should not have been woman of the fucking year. Like
yes, that was
should have
crazy.
never fucking happened.
That was wow. But you know what? They always push the limit to see what they could get away with. And they got away with it. So it's nothing for next. They got away with that. So they're going to push it to the limit for something else because that's all they do. All they do is push to see how far they can go. And when they get that far and it takes off, like with her being Woman of the Year or him being Woman of the Year, now who knows what's next? They see how far they can do it. Once they can do it, it's like it's open. They're going to go a little further.
I know that speaks to so many people that got their little boy fetishes. You know what I mean? Like, I just look, y'all do what y'all want. Y'all have sex with who you want. No one gives a fuck. You adults, no one cares unless it goes into where your desires are to children. That's where we all agree to leave them alone. I think that's where we all fucking agree to leave children alone and leave us women alone. Stop dragging us into y'all bullshit. Stop shortening the small space that we already don't fucking have to exist in this world. We're still fighting for our equality. Stop dragging us into the bullshit and taking away from what we barely have as it is. And that's my point, you know, my biggest points today. So hopefully some people got some schooling today. Some people got some information. And again, do your diligence. You guys, there's so much 5-second clips of stuff out there. Please go watch go find whole stories, whole clips. Do your diligence. Don't just believe the 1-2 second shit going across your TikToks, because I guarantee when you start going down the rabbit hole of information, you're going to see how dark it really gets. So when I started seeing a lot of these last year, was the people were attacking transgender. I actually believed it, where I was just like, damn, that's fucked up. When you shift over to doing your research part about it and you look more into it, you start to see that there's the agenda bullshit and all this other bullshit behind it that you're like, you guys are actually being used. And I hope the transgender community starts to waken up, not this woke bullshit, but wake up to how you're being used in a bigger agenda. They just saw their end and now they have it. And so now you guys are being used like little pawns, which is fun.
And we're not the enemy. They need to realize women are not the enemy. The fight is not with women. Don't make the fight be about women. Like you said, this is deeper. They're using that community for what beneficial to them. And again, like I said, separation again. You know, if you love women and want to be a woman and you feel so highly of women, then come together with us, not fight with us. Right. Try to understand the fights that we deal with, even now with the younger generations, with the TikToks talking about, the Gen X women and trying to, play on us and trying to downgrade us and belittle us.
Old as fuck.
Right. You're a woman first. You're going to be our age one day. So instead of, again, trying to fight with us, maybe you should stand with us. Maybe we should be who you look up to be one day. The 45-year-olds, the 46-year-olds who still look nice, who still, you know what I mean? Who is still here. Because there's some 40-year-olds some people that didn't even make it to 40. So when you're 22 and you're trying to come at the 40-year-olds, maybe you should look up to us to say, dang, she's 40 and then she still look, good, put together. Not sit there and talk about our hairstyles or like you said, that was one of the things she said, old as fuck and this, that, and the third. And you're a woman, you're going to be 45 if you are lucky enough to make it to 45. Because in this day and age, you already know you can walk outside and get hit by a car. So no one's guaranteed to wake up tomorrow. So at 22, 23, you sitting there bashing 40-year-olds and up. you should kind of look up to us and say, dang, I hope to see 45 and look that good at 45, you know?
It's just,
But again, the fight is against us. It's like, again, separation. Trans women now are separating themselves from us. Younger generation is separating themselves from us. So again, together we can fight this shit together. But when you're separating us and now we all in different things and now we fighting against each other,
right.
how the hell we are supposed to win anything when everybody's fighting against each other?
So
Trans women, younger women, we need to come together.
Lack of respect. I believe it. Lack of respect, because when you are, again, you so much want to be a woman, but you don't have respect for a woman. It's the most idiotic shit I've ever heard.
It is. That's
in
so
my
weird.
life.
That's the weirdest shit ever.
And unfortunately, like I said, you guys have, I'm pretty sure you guys saw my post. I've made it very clear where I stand. And, you know, I didn't start the fight, but I am definitely choosing sides, because unfortunately, if you are in your community and you are going to allow yourself to be used, then unfortunately you are now against us, and we're already fighting. And so for my women, I am definitely going to support as much as I can and look for ways in communities and things like that to support, because it's a very unfortunate fight. And every time we turn around, there's another bullshit at the door. And I think even women in these prisons, I'm glad that the lady, can't say her name, but Amy, I think it's Amy Ichikawa, where she founded Women to Women in California to be an advocate for those women. And I hope that more jail systems have people like her that are going to step up to be those advocates and say, no, these people have a voice too. You know, hopefully now that the 2 women pregnant in Jersey are a sign of, hey, we need to advocate, you know, and hopefully that man, because it's a man who did that lawsuit, hopefully he gets some backlash and not just a slap on the wrist that you abuse the system.
Exactly. Yep.
You abuse the system.
I doubt it.
Then that has to change. Then women need to go picket that fucking jail, and that needs. I will roll there. I will,
because if he doesn't, you could just imagine how other men is gonna feel if he gets away with it. Right. They're gonna be doing this all that, like he got away with it. Because again, like I said, there's a lot of evil in the world, and they have bigger motives. Obvious, like himself, he had a bigger motive. Like himself, there's a lot more that I'm sure think just like him.
And that's where we need to start making noise. Fuck that. Y'all see France? Y'all see what's going on in France? France is shut down. If y'all have not been, this is we're being distracted because they don't want no one to see these stories, right? France, and I know they don't really call them presidents or whoever the fuck runs France. They decided that they were going to take the retirement age from 62 up to 64. France.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
They're still going through it, where people ain't going back to work. They've shut down the trains. They're like, we ain't going back to work, because they're like, no, fuck that. We're not extending our retirement because y'all ain't got no money, or you didn't mismanage money. So that's the power of people coming together, because they're just like, enough is enough. No, we're not going to work longer hours. We're not going to work into our 70s. We will fucking have to work into our 70s to fucking retire. Wait, what? What? It's just getting later and later. Like every country, and our country, what age is it? Is it still 65? Or did it go up? It's what, 67?
It's older.
Yeah, see? No. I mean, I already retired from the workforce. I don't care, but I care enough to be like, really? Everybody's gonna be 70 before they can fucking. And if you've been someone like me, I've been working since I was 14. How long would I have had to stay in the workforce to fucking work before I could retire out this bitch? What?
But again, it goes back to, like I said, they're gonna see what they could get away with, and once they get away with it, they're gonna push it to a little more. That's what they do.
And this is why we need to follow suit. France came together and shut that bitch down. Not to say that really changed, because they're still trying to pass it, but ain't nobody going back to work. Those
The
people
day,
don't care.
the day that happened in this country, hell would have froze over, thawed out, and froze over 10 more times.
So I think we definitely, need to think about that. And if anyone decides that they are going to go do something, y'all might see me protesting somewhere. Y'all might see me as an activist somewhere, because we got to do something. And I do agree with what you said earlier. Burning those bras are not enough, but again, I will be doing mine and recording and put it on my social medias, just as that token of that I stand with them. But I don't feel that's enough. That's definitely not enough. And we definitely do have to start thinking of what the fuck are we going to do as women? Because we're definitely being dragged. So what are we going to do to come together? And we have to find ways that we support each other as women, because in so many ways we're being annihilated.
Yep.
And no one wants to believe this, right? We've done some decades with a lot of people in La La Land, but we see it. There's no way to not see it. You can't go out.
They've been doing this for years. Like I said, they did it even with the abortion. They know how to do it. They do it. They undercover ways. They have the undercover ways. They know what they're doing, and they're going to continue to do it as long as people are allowing them to do it.
Yeah. Sucks, y'all. So you guys be supportive of your children. Get them the proper help that they need. And if you don't agree with one therapist, go to the next one. Do not be afraid to change your healthcare provider. If you do not agree with what your doctor is saying, change your healthcare provider. You have those rights. Do not forget that. You can get a second opinion. That's what second opinion, third opinions are for.
It's true, though, because you got to think about it. Some people have their personal things of why they feel the way they feel. So you don't have to agree. They're talking or coming from a personal experience. Even with these professionals, you know what I mean? They're still human. So they still know, they views still can play a part in decisions or even talking to your children and those type of things. So yes, if you don't agree, even if they're professional, whatever, can have how many degrees they want, they're still human. And some people, they personal views do come across in when they are talking to our children or even us as adults.
Right.
So if you don't agree, definitely like you said, 2, 3, 4. If you have to, you got to do the work. You just can't say, oh, because they're professional, they know what they're talking about.
No. My daughter's doctor, when she was in 3rd grade, was like, she's too energetic. Wanted to put her on. It wasn't Adderall. It was something else. And I had her take it for 2 days. And my daughter was a zombie. And I took her off that medication. And I was like, fuck what y'all think. She has energy. So what? Y'all going to deal with it. I'm not putting her on no fucking medication, because she wasn't her after that. And it was like, again, you think, because you're raised to think that the doctors know, and you go to the doctor and they tell you, and these, again, you're going in and you're being told this, that, and the third, you're being told whatever. So you guys do your diligence. I'm telling you, there's studies out there. 65 to 95% of children who go through the not knowing who they are, by the time they get older, 65 to 95% will go ahead and either be straight or be gay without any surgeries necessary. So if you allow your children to just work through what they're working through and not be afraid that they're going to kill themselves, or be coerced that you think that that's going to be a thing, you'll see that they will work through that. But you also need to get them help of what else is going on deeper within them, because that's not going to take away the depression. It's not going to take away how they truly feel, right? There's too many levels with it that you need as the parents to look at. And if you do your diligence and get the proper healing or proper mental health, then they can have a better life, and suicide rate will drop. The problem is the suicide rate is not dropping even after surgery and stuff, because we're not doing the proper healing and mental health on these children and people, And I just hope that people really wake up and stop just jumping on the trains of what they think is cool and look at the bigger picture, because the bigger picture is, again, it's not okay to shit on one community and push another one out to make you feel better. And I think that we do that too often, of wanting to be liked and wanting to be recognized, our existence, and we want to be included. But again, not everybody's going to like you. I think that is the conversation that we need to have. Not
Exactly. You have to
everybody is
be
going
okay
to like
with not
you.
everybody liking you. Once you master that, you'll be able to, you have to be okay with not everybody liking you, because not everybody's gonna like you.
Right. Because the thing is, now someone could just be like, oh, well, you're a homophobe. No, how about I just don't fucking like you? Maybe you're a piece of shit.
Exactly. Right. Maybe your personality I don't like. I could care less that you're transgender. I don't like the shit you're saying.
Maybe you just a horrible person and I don't fuck with you. But because I don't fuck with you, I'm automatically labeled as like, I got these phobias. Like, get the fuck out of here with this shit. Like, no, not everybody's gonna like you, and they don't have to. That's the beauty of life. Go where you're celebrated, where you're not hated. Don't we say this shit? Don't we say this all the time? Because it's like, where is this not a thing out there? Go where you are celebrated.
But like you said, it starts with self. Even with validation, you don't need validation from somebody. Once you good with you, you good. Right. You could care less what somebody think about you.
Right.
Because I could care less what somebody think about me. I could care less.
Right. Right. I've never had any part of my life where I needed anyone to affirm that I was a woman. Like, yes. I never had anyone be like, dang, Ariana, you are a woman. You're a real woman. Like, we've never, as women, we've never gone through that, where that was a thing where we needed someone to give us this speech. It's just like, yeah, I know I'm a woman. Like, you know, I've gone through some other shit, but I know I'm a woman.
Exactly. And that's the thing. We don't need to be told that. We know who we are. Like, you have to be okay with not being told you're a good woman or you're this or that. And I think a lot of the times us as women, we need to know that. We don't need to hear that from somebody else. We gotta know it, think it, and feel it ourselves. Right. Because if we don't think it or feel it ourselves, it could be it's nothing to our ears to hear it from somebody else. They could say it till they blue in the face. Oh, you a good woman, you a good woman, or you a good woman. If you don't feel it yourself, it's nothing. It's like we don't even hear it. It's going in one ear right out the other. So we have to know it, feel it, and embrace it ourselves, and could care less what someone else is telling us. The same thing if you're not a woman. If they telling you you're not a woman. If you know you are and feel it and embrace it, that shit is nothing. That's going in one ear right out the other. It all starts with self. And I think a lot of people need to realize self. Once you master that self stuff, a lot of things or opinions of others don't matter, because your opinion is the only thing that should matter with self.
But the biology point stands regardless of how you feel inside. Like, you can feel like a woman all day long. That doesn't change the biology makeup that you were born with. It just doesn't. There's just it just doesn't. No matter how much you wish it to be, you will never truly have that. And I know that that's unfortunate and it's hurtful. And that's why I feel like you need to get help to work through what you go through.
To be okay with not being a woman, you know, to be okay. Like you said, even back to what we were talking about with the Nike with him. If they worded it different, it would not trigger us so much. If they just worded it different, something so simple as just wording it different.
Right. And I will tell you, I worked with a man one time who is so divine feminine in his energy, but in this life, he chose to be a man. And now we did a short past life session where he was shown how he was a woman many lifetimes, but in this life, he decided to be a man. There was a reason that he came into this life to be a man. Now, he couldn't shake that femininity about him or his essence, but he embraced that of being that part of him. And he's very gender fluid sexually, but still, he's still a man when you see him. He didn't choose to change nothing else. And so I think when we go into it, if you really got the help, you can see why you've come here, why you have chosen to be in this meat suit, right? There's reasons behind it. So, you know, it's not just let's, you know, change what's going on, because there's not a third gender. And a man can't be a woman and a woman can't be a man biologically. You can't change that no matter how many surgeries or medicines you get. And it is delusional to make people think that they can, because that is, I think, unhealthy. Because you're just never going to be accepted. And the people that are around you that are lying to you is even worse, to lie to you and say that, because they're never gonna see you like that. And they're never gonna truly accept you as one, because you're truly not one. If I see a chick who's a man and she wants to fight, I'm not fighting you. You're a fucking man. You know, like, it's like, come, well, that's not even fair.
I see. And it's so funny because I say that all the time when you see transgender women, and they're so aggressive. And if you notice, they're feminine, they have their little thing, but get them mad. Oh, get them mad. All that shit goes out the window.
Right.
And like you said, I'm not fighting you. Like,
no. I mean, I've seen some get very crazy, and it's like, how did you just switch back up into a man? You were a woman.
Yeah.
And now you're about to fight me like a fucking man? Like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
I just think that's the problem with it. Like, there's just more to it, and having that sense to like, okay, let's talk about it, or let's get you the help, And I even I've had a woman client who was like, she had changed. She had a husband, horrible situation, right? And had kids, and then she changed and decided to be a lesbian. But one of the things we discussed was that, like, the beautiful, just that you can't, having the experience of children. There's so much more to your journey if you just allow yourself to go through it, and not just, again, jump into the boxes of what society is telling you. There's some beautiful things that you can figure out about yourself and your journey and your essence that you don't got to mutilate yourself for. You know what I mean? You don't got to take these harsh chemicals to try to be something, when, again, your essence or your journey is quite different. And I think that's the conversations I think I would like to see people having, is you're basically putting chemicals into your body to try to be something, but you're not dealing with your core issues. It's not going to change nothing. And then you have to deal with the side effects to that medication. What is that doing to you? What's that doing to your liver and your other organs? And you know what I mean? All the other things that's going on with your body. What else is going on? So I just think there's a lot of bullshit, and unfortunately people are being sucked into it, and they're just pawns, and that's the bad part. And I think I would have been more sympathetic if it wasn't so bad out there now. Like, I think I had more sympathy about a year ago with the transgender community, but unfortunately, after a lot of research that I've done, I don't have that sympathy, because unfortunately there are men, and I said this, that would happen, that men would play the part but get in where they can get in, and women were going to feel it, and women were going to be harmed. And we have girls that have been harmed and sexually abused in universities. We've had cases now, jail. We have cases that are here in our face. This is not just hypotheticals anymore.
And it started with the whole bathroom. I remember when that happened. A few girls got touched because men were coming in the bathrooms, and they were violated behind it.
Right.
Like I said, they tried it with that. They got away with it. And look how furthermore they are now. Now the prison system, like I said, they're going to see what they can get away with. They got away with the bathrooms. Now look at the prisons. And
I don't think you can get away with the prison unless maybe that is the agenda, to just incubate a bunch of kids so y'all can send them off to the fucking predators that y'all work for, Because
they make money in them prisons.
We already know most prisons are privately owned anyway.
So think about it. The ones that are adapting to that, those are going to be the chosen ones. Everybody's going to want to go there. So now beds are being filled.
Let me tell you, it's about 49 states. And how many states we have? 51? 49 states have already adopted part of that California legislation. I can't say
money. That's money, because they know they had to get on board. That's money. Them beds are getting full, and they get paid for every cell, every bed, every person.
Federal
they get
funding.
Paid for that.
Federal funding that we know that Biden just said he would take away if anyone went against transgender or don't gender affirm or honor who they say they are. right? So we just saw Biden sign that, right?
So yeah,
Coincidence?
so right. That's definitely that is another way of making money and keeping that money in the prison systems. Because now again, people are gonna choose certain prisons that have that. And again, them beds are gonna be full.
I think I know this is a lot, y'all. This gave me a headache just doing the research that I did. It did. It gave me a headache and it's rough. All you can do is wherever your morals stand and however you feel like you need to help or not help, it's up to you and it's up to us. And I think that there's a lot of women that need our backing and need our support at this
Mhm.
time. And if you can find a way out there, you guys find a way to support, not in a way that causes damage. You don't need to go fighting transgender people or shit like that or causing chaos, but find other ways. Like I said, the power of the dollar that we have is huge. Find other ways to make an impact or support um, in
Even
ways.
with these
But
prisons, these women are in these prisons already fighting
right,
for their life every day.
right,
Because in prison you have to fight for your life. They're fighting, they are getting raped. Other women that come, I've done had a story been told to me. A girl, she was locked up for like 30 days. She was in her cell. She woke up, a girl was on top of her naked. So they're already fighting that type of thing. So now another fight to have to wake up in your cell and there's a man in your cell.
right.
So they're already fighting for their life every day, fighting
Jail
to
is
live.
not
Some of them
fun.
are getting killed in there by other women. It's violence. Jails are violent already. So now
Yes.
it's sad. It's just
Jail
so
is not
sad.
fun. And honestly, I'm someone who believes jail is not supposed to be fun. I am not somebody who believes that you need to go on a holiday vacation going to jail. And I have been in jail, y'all. I unfortunately have not paid tickets and shit and had warrants. And I also had a DUI because of a time where I was deciding to drink and drive. And that's what I got for that. Like I deserved to go to jail for that. And I remember going to jail and I remember there were like this very butch girl that seemed to like run a certain part. And we were all in the space of where they're trying to see where you're going to go, the county jail, I guess. And I just remember like within a day or two of us all coming in, one of the girls had became like her bitch in like 2 days. And it's crazy because they talk about that. You have to figure out who are you in this situation, especially if you here for a long time. I wasn't expecting to be there for a long time. So I just stood to myself. Luckily, I have the resting bitch face. I have the beautiful resting bitch face that I have. It always makes people think twice before they fuck with me.
Hmm.
Okay. So I just remember her, like, she would look at me from time to time and she, all that loud shit. But I remember one of the girls, like, in a couple of days, was like, all of a sudden she had braids in her hair. She was fucking like right behind her. And it was like, damn, y'all switch up really
Hmm.
fucking quickly. And I get it. You go in, you scared as fuck. You don't know what you need to do. And there's a lot to jail that's not just, again, you're coming in with people who are criminals,
Hmm.
you might be in because again, I had a warrant for not paying a fucking ticket. It was like at one time, it was like, you in here with some people that are crime
Murderers. They
murderers.
murdered.
You're not just in with the people that didn't pay tickets. You know what I mean? And I remember in California when I went, it was for not paying an insurance. I had got stopped, didn't have insurance on my car, and I had got a ticket. Of course, I didn't pay it, went to a warrant. They fucking brought me in for the fucking warrant. You know what I mean? So I was sitting here with these people that's like, damn, these motherfuckers is coming. And people like to talk about stuff and why they're there. I don't know why people like to brag about why the fuck they in jail. Cause me, I don't give a fuck. Don't want to talk to none of y'all. I just want to get my shit situated and fucking leave. But people like to brag about all the shit that they fucking have done. And it's like, I remember just sitting and watching, like, damn, let me think about my life choices because this is not it. This is not where I want to be. So you go in there already, men and women, both sides. There's some very harsh
Hmm.
shit that could potentially happen to you.
It's true. You may not even come out alive. And
No,
now, even down to the COs, and you see all the stories. oh, the inmate hung themselves, and then you see the footage that inmate was alive, but then you see a correction officer walking out and they done hung themselves. You know what I mean? So you're not even
Right.
safe when it comes to the staff. So
Right.
not only do you have to watch your back from the staff, you have to watch your back from the other inmates. So now
Right.
they throw a man into your cell. Now you got to watch your back for a man. Like, it's
Right.
like, okay, and like you said, it's a prison. It's a prison. It shouldn't be nice. But in that same day,
Right.
it's a fight every day. There are people that getting stabbed up,
Right.
beat up, and
Right.
some are not making it alive.
And a woman, right? You in a woman's prison, there's a better chance of you fighting her off of you, than fighting a man off of you.
Exactly. My point exactly. Like I said, she told me it was a woman naked on top of her in her, while she
Right.
sleep. Imagine, and she was able to get
Right.
her off. She wasn't
Right.
able to do anything to
Like,
her.
bitch, you might get one titty, but you ain't getting in my drawers. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm gonna fuck you up. But like you said, now it's a dude on top with
You
his
might get
strength.
some gropes, but you ain't getting in the drawers to penetrate. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a big difference where that
It
man
is a
can
big
do some
difference to
damage.
have to fight a
Yeah.
male off of you in
Yeah,
your,
and I mean, we joke and kid about it, but it's definitely way more serious than that. But yeah, I just look at, like, I literally was just kind of sick to my stomach on some of the shit that just was coming up, some of the shit that I was seeing, and just what is so popular in these influence that I had never even heard of these influencers, but doing your research, you come across a bunch of shit and you're just like, where the fuck and what the hell is going on with our society? And I'm just like, oh, y'all, same thing I said with abortion. You got to pick a side. You cannot stay neutral
hmm
and just be like, oh, it's not me. It doesn't have
hmm
anything to do with me. It has a lot to do with all of us. And like Florida just passed their law, they banned it. So every state is going to be doing what they do. And this is nonstop. This is not just stopped. It's just nonstop.
I know, this is what I say. They're gonna try to see how far they can get
Mhm.
away with it. And while this is happening, now this is happening.
Oh,
So,
and then
while one is still going, they
Mhm.
coming up with new laws
Right,
and new
right.
stuff.
In Missouri, I don't know if you guys heard, they overturned something in Missouri where the Jim Crow laws are back in Missouri.
Oh yes, I seen that. I seen a girl post that on TikTok. She was in tears.
I looked it up, and unfortunately, those laws basically, and it doesn't just say like you're going to be segregated, but this is where they get you, that they're taking the rights away from prisoners, right? But who are they going to put in jail to become a prisoner to not have that right?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
your clause is that, yeah, we're not going to segregate you, but if you go to jail, you lose all your rights. Like, you no longer can vote, you can't do shit, right? So,
That's how it all starts. Like I said, that undercover
who's going to be in the jail?
the government's been doing that for years. Everything is undercover. And again, like I said, they see what they could get away with. And the fact that it passed, they got away with it.
Right. Right. So I'm like, while we're distracted on bullshit, this is the
hmm
stuff where people got to get
While
involved, you
people is
guys.
watching Trump,
And I'm
while
like,
they airing that on the
look,
news, because
y'all
that's
can
what they're
say what
airing
y'all
on the
want.
news.
Y'all can say what y'all want about Trump.
No, I'm saying while they airing that on the news, real shit
Right.
is happening. Nobody, well, me personally, I could care less whether he get indicted or not.
What
I'm
is,
just saying they air that on and talk about it all damn day on every channel while
yeah.
real shit is happening.
What the thing I love about the whole thing with Trump, though, is what people don't fail to realize is he wasn't someone that they could just use. Like, if you look at all the other presidents that came and went, right? They did whatever somebody higher above said. But whenever someone came in that had a different agenda, what happened? They were assassinated. Or the shit with Trump. Trump, I don't agree with everything that Trump has said. I don't agree with all the shit. But one thing I will give him credit is that he has made it known where he stands on
I
shit.
was just about to say that.
And he
That's
wasn't
so
in the
true.
back door. He was like, this is where I
This
stand. Y'all
is
either
me.
stand
These
with
are
me or
my
not.
views. This is how I rock. This is me. This is what I feel. This is how I
Right.
feel. Yeah, that's one thing I
I
can
can
say.
respect
I
that.
agree with that. He is who he is, and he put it out there to be who he is. and
Right.
you either accept it or you don't. And that's just who he is. You can't
He's a
knock him for
businessman.
who he is. That's who the fuck he is.
That's
He ain't
what I
sugarcoating
get.
nothing.
And I'm not. And look, I don't. Politics. I'm no party. I ain't a
Yeah,
part of
me
no
too.
fucking party. Because one,
Mm-mm.
if you go too left, is this? You go too fucking right, is this? Live all
Yep.
of this extra shit. And again, I don't fully agree with all of y'all, and I don't disagree fully with all of
Yep.
y'all.
That's how
I
I
like
am.
y'all make some pretty good points, but
Exactly. That's how I am
I'm
too.
no party. And I just look at
Mm-mm.
it like if people think because you're a minority, you gotta be a Democrat. Fuck y'all.
Exactly.
What have
I
y'all
say
done
that shit
for
all
us
the
in
time.
office?
I
Somebody tell
say
me
it
which
all
Democrat did
the
anything for us,
time.
because I made more money with Trump in office than I did with
I mean, I say it all the time, even with the being a Democrat. At the end of the day, I mean, a lot of the shit that they do pass is to handicap us as minorities. I mean, let's just keep it real. It's they'll do this and they'll do that, but it handicaps a lot of Black and brown people. It
like the
handicaps
Democrats are
us a
supposed to
lot.
be for us. Why the fuck we got abortion outlawed in every state? Like, wait, what the fuck?
Exactly. So it's like it doesn't even hold weight to be a Republican or Democrat, because neither or is for. I mean, that's just me. That's how I am. So I don't party. I have no party, because
Yeah.
neither one to me is beneficial in any kind of way. So when shit hit the fan,
I used
it
to be a Democrat until
that's
I
just
looked
me.
into it, and I
I
started
don't
to
do
look. I'm telling you, you start to look into this shit more. You start to see that you really don't agree with everything that they say. And I'm not jumping on any party because I don't believe in everything that they say. Y'all got some valid points. Republicans got some valid points. They not all wrong, you know. Democrats got some valid points. They're not all wrong. And then you look at the liberals and the conservatives, and they got their points. They're not all
Mm-hmm.
wrong. But again, y'all not all right. So I don't think any of y'all are
Exactly.
going to be like, none of y'all are going to be the best candidate, because y'all all say one thing and come in. And again, because y'all don't run shit, somebody else runs shit. So y'all can say what y'all want at the end of the day, unless you're ready to go against that higher power that you ain't telling everybody about.
Exactly.
The fuck you gonna do for us?
It sounds good.
Nothing. You gonna
They
talk
do
this shit,
exactly that.
be in
It
office,
sounds good.
right? Be stressed the fuck out because you can't make no change.
Mm-hmm. Because you really, like you said earlier, really don't have no power in shit.
Obama looked so good when he went into that office. Look how he left.
I know. I said the
Looking
same thing.
old,
He had
tired,
no grace.
stressed the fuck out.
He had no grace.
What
He
did y'all
came
do
out
to
of there with
Obama?
nothing but grace.
What did you do to Obama? What y'all do to Obama in that office? It's crazy to me. Crazy to me. And I'm not a fan of Biden. I'm sorry. That
Me
man got
either.
Alzheimer's, dementia, whatever else he fucking got. Cancer.
Exactly. Like,
Why the
come
fuck is he
on.
still in
Why did
office?
why did y'all even do that to him? Like, he
So he's just signing shit that probably he don't even know he's fucking signing, because he's made it very publicly clear that he don't fucking know where he's at and what he's talking about half the time.
Yep. Because you can't hide that. You can't hide it. They can put it. They can write a script for him and this, that, and the third. But if you are not right physically, mentally, he's older. He's dealing with old people shit,
Do y'all
and they just.
do y'all remember the other Biden that was with Obama? Do y'all remember him? Does anyone compare?
I just had wait a minute, y'all. Wait a minute. I just had a horrible thought. Wait a minute, because I used to work in hospitals and nurse homes. So you know how in the old people when they got Alzheimer's and they put that alarm on their ass.
Yeah, he stay falling. If
They
he ain't always falling, they need to give him one of those.
They
They
probably got an alarm or a bell on his ass.
He need one of them. He stay falling, whether it's up the stairs or on a bike. He stay falling. So I mean, it's not right. It's really not right.
Walk him. They literally got to hand walk him everywhere because he don't know where he's at. So if you got a president that's that gone, why is he still in office?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
because you know what? It's easy for them to put something in front of him so he can sign it without,
remember,
he's signing shit he don't even know he's signing.
But wait a minute. But remember, all them years, they hid Reagan. They cover for Reagan. You got to remember, all them years they cover for Reagan.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So he's the face.
I don't even want to ask. I don't even know why I'm asking why, because at this point, we all know why.
Exactly.
You
So he
gotta
can just
remember
sign
that.
off on shit. Just keep signing off on shit.
Exactly. They need somebody in that seat
That
who
don't know what
and
the fuck
what
is
better
going on.
person who can't ask no questions because they have no clue what's going on.
I have worked with dementia and Alzheimer's patients, being that I work with geriatrics. They don't need to be signing anything. They
So
literally,
okay, as somebody who worked with them, do you not see similar?
oh hell yeah,
Oh, okay.
hell
Because I
yeah.
know I've never worked with them, but it's just certain things that's just
The
common
way
sense to the eye.
the way that he sometimes is not there, okay,
Hmm.
like he's completely not there. That's pretty regular. And then they can flip flop really quickly through younger
Hmm.
years of their lives, and then they can come back, and you know what I mean. They can flip flop very
Mhm.
quickly. It's a very quick, like, and not be disorientated, not understand. I've had patients that I worked for years because I was worked in geriatrics for damn near a decade, right? And I worked in one office for about 5 years. One particular office with a doctor and his patients I knew from the beginning, and I watched them deteriorate year after year after
Hmm.
year, where they didn't even recognize me as the medical assistant, even though I knew them for all these years. You can see the difference of them, that they don't know, or one minute they're here and the next minute they're not there. So yeah, a lot of what he does is very, very similar to a lot of the patients.
So you
So,
would say to yourself, why haven't a professional or why haven't they
right.
said,
And I
you
mean, didn't
know,
they make
let's
Trump get some type of health? Didn't they make Trump get seen or something when he was in office? There was some issue where he had to see a doctor or something. I'm like, so nobody thinks that Biden needs to have some self health
exactly. That's what I'm
like,
saying. Like no one stepping in saying, you know what, maybe he needs to rest, maybe he needs to, step
really,
down and, this is, I don't know how no one isn't,
right,
saying something. They're
right,
actually putting him out there on live TV. And like
right,
you said, having him sign these things to where, like you said, one minute he may know what's going on and the next minute he's not, but you're actually letting him sign these things that matter. These
right,
are serious things that change people's
right,
lives. Why would
right,
you let somebody be in control of that who is
right,
at that stage? So it's just so
right.
weird how.
Yeah. Like he signed that thing to defund federal funding to places and schools that do not honor or affirm transgender's identity.
Hmm.
So this war has just begun. It's not over,
Mhm.
it's not. And until we actually, like I said, and I know a lot of people will get hurt. I know a lot of people will get offended at what I'm saying, but I don't care at this point because we're being shit on. And I feel like
Mhm.
being on the side of women who have always been shit on. And I think
Yeah.
we've been some of the most humble and supportive people on the planet when it comes to even being hated by men. You know what I mean? And we've still been trying to
Yeah.
procreate
No, you're
and live
right.
with y'all. And you
Mhm.
know what I mean?
It's
And
true. And uplift them and no,
raise
you're
little
right.
boys, you know what I mean? Even though we've been hated and beaten, abused and shit for decades, and we have still, so we've been the most kind and loving and nurturing because of what we are as women, right? That kind, loving,
Mhm.
nurturing people that we are. And it's like, no, I'm choosing a side. I'm sorry. I gotta choose. I'm choosing my gender, my born
That's right.
assigned gender.
No, it's true. You got to stand in your truth. And I think that's where a lot of people forget. Like, you have to stand in your truth. You are a woman. You're a woman first. And
Mm,
it's okay to offend somebody because they could care less when they're offending us. They
right,
could care less how it's affecting us, how it's hurting us every day. If they could care less, no one could care. So why should I now put myself also on the back burner because I don't want to offend anybody. So I'm
right,
with you on that. If I offend you, oh well. If I have to choose, I am choosing me. I'm a woman first.
right.
And you don't have to agree with it. I mean, it is what it is. If again, back to what we were saying, you ain't gotta like me.
I always say I'm a mother and I'm a woman and a mother.
Yep,
And those two things don't shift.
at
You know what I
all.
mean? It don't
At all.
shift. I will always be in that protective mother mode when it comes to children. And I will
Mhm.
always be on the side of supporting women because I know the journey. You know what I mean? I have been
Yep.
raped. I have been, you know what I mean? Like I have been in this journey and it has been rough to just fucking be me. And when I came to a certain age and started to develop how sexually men looked at me, you know what I mean? I had as a 15-year-old, I remember having grown ass men in their 20s, in their late 20s on my ass, you know?
Mhm.
As this teenager, I was always sexualized in that way. So,
Mhm.
you know, as women, we go through some shit. We how many accounts of sexual harassment and shit, Katrina, you know you didn't see some shit in the service with sexual
Mhm.
harassment. How
Oh
many?
yeah. But you know what? And it's still, even with that, it goes back to men and how they was raised as far as to treat women and to
Mhm,
Yep.
protect women.
Yep.
And for me, and I was blessed, and I can't say it was God, the universe, or whatever. Is I was in the office full of men, and um one female, no, yeah, one and two females, but the men that were my leadership, they protected me. So it was, if any man approached me, they didn't care who they was, what work they was, or whatever. They was like, "We got you." So
mm,
if I went to them, it was that we gonna handle it.
mm.
We gonna handle it like we gonna take them to the woodshed. Gonna handle it.
There's not that many
Type.
stories though.
I
But
was just
so
about to say that's the individual character of them.
Right.
right. So I was, but and I hear about so many other stories in the military where they didn't have that, and
Right.
it was always that cover up,
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
and they had to leave the service, and I feel
Yeah.
sorry for those women.
Yeah. It's a lot more stories of that. I think
It
that's
is.
awesome that you were blessed to have those protectors.
Mhm.
Yeah, unfortunately it's not. It is not it's not the you know the consensus of just women being protected in the service. Definitely not.
Yeah,
And it
it
is
goes
that
back to
cover up.
the character of the man. If a man is brought up to not have no respect for women and to only see them as a sexual being, that's
Mm,
what they and that's where a lot of it comes from. You know, we all know a lot of men are raised, oh, you a man, you know, the women you sleep with and this, that, and the third. So now they don't have respect for no women. We only a sex object to them. So
right.
there's no respect at all. And even in the military, because I have nieces who are still actually in the military, and they say they deal a lot with sexual harassment, little
Mhm.
smart things they say when they walk by. And again, like I said, because they were raised to not have respect for women. And when you're raised like that as a child, as an adult, those little things stay. And a lot of people don't realize that things of what you've seen and heard as a child, you grow up to be now an adult repeating those same things or kind of maybe seeing those same views or
Right.
feeling the same way. And so you know, yourself say like, yo, this ain't right. Like, you know, some people go the opposite way and be like, I'm not gonna treat women the way I seen my dad treat women or my brother or whatever. And then some mimic exactly what they know.
Right. I think there's a lot of men that conform to the pressure of what they think a man is supposed to be. And they're, even though deep down, there's a lot of them that don't feel that way, but they don't do anything about it either. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they don't stand up to their peers. They don't take that stance, especially the younger ones. The younger ones, you see it a lot. They just kind of laugh it off, or it's not a big deal, and that's
Mm-hmm.
the unfortunate part. But we've been going through that for a very long time. We're not surprised, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 2023. I feel like it should be different, but I'm not surprised that men are still cavemen in that
Yeah, they
aspect.
are,
Mhm.
and they still are putting down other men who are tapping
the
into
red pill
being.
community now that's up and running. You know, what is his name? Kevin. What is the main dude? He had a whole podcast. He died of like a heart
Oh,
attack.
Kevin Samuels.
Kevin Samuels.
Oh.
That's the Kevin Samuels red pill community. You know, and
No, it is, and it's sad because a lot of young boys are getting judged and shamed on because they are maybe sensitive or they choose not to sleep with multiple women. They are
right.
committed and are in committed relationships. I think they call them like I forgot. It's a term that they're using now. I forgot the term it is. Like if he's, it's basically like judging them for being sensitive and it's sad because again to me it confuses men, young, especially young boys now
Right.
starts to question. Matter of fact, let me ask my son, I think he's up. TJ, what's
I've
that term that like when you are sensitive or whatever, like in a committed relationship that they say boys are men?
Oh, a simp.
A sim, there we go. It's a word called
Right.
a sim.
Okay, I've heard some
A,
guys say that. And
okay.
a simp, excuse
you
me,
a
it's a P
simp
at the
because
end,
you
he
love
said.
your woman. You a simp because you
SIMP.
respect your woman.
And this is sad that they, like I said, that was my son and he's 15, and I had to ask him what is the, and this is what I mean. So now these 15-year-old men, young boys are growing up to
Right.
be men now, and they are now looking at stuff that you're called this if you're sensitive or if you're in a committed relationship or if you help out your mom or whatever it is, and that's sad. Like
Right.
that's so
Luckily,
sad.
there are some men out there and they have awesome podcasts and they have awesome channels that are not red pill community that actually can give you guys some great advice that actually can be that driving force to show you that you're not a simp if you respect your woman, because we all come from a fucking woman.
Exactly.
All
And
y'all came
again,
out
back
that
to what you
vagina.
said. Now we're dealing with that still. We're still dealing with that. So if we are loved on, he's a simp. Like if we are respected, like this is what I mean. It's so sad how women,
and,
it's just
and it's a quick fix to that. If you can't respect me, there's the door.
Thank you.
mm-hmm,
I don't care if you my child. I don't care who you
mm-hmm.
is. There go the door.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
'Kay,
where
No,
we
that's
need
where the
to.
That
communication comes in.
that's
I always tell
that
my son that.
that's an easy fix to that. That's the door.
I
That's
always
where
tell my son
women,
that.
hello, need to say enough is enough. I'm not going to sit in this abusive ass shit. Don't care if you're my father, your brother, my fucking
Mm-hmm.
spouse, whoever you are. I'm not going to sit and entertain this bullshit.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, more women are entertaining. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a thing. We wouldn't even be having
And
a
it's true.
conversation.
I've done heard other women say they don't want to do like that. Like, oh, I don't want to simp. I don't, and I'm like, what the fuck?
You don't want
Now
a man to
these
respect you? Wait, what?
exactly. You don't want a man to have respect for you. Like it's
I'm
crazy.
sorry.
So they're
There's
getting downed on both
well,
ends, on the men's side
no,
and the
they're
women's side.
confused. They're confused at see, this is where wording is everything. The words that you use are everything. There is a difference between a simp and a passive man. I can understand if you're a certain type of female and you're like, I can't really be with a passive man because I'm an alpha female. So having a passive man don't work for me. You can't be passive where I run over you. That's a turnoff, right? I
Right.
need that man who has a voice and is going to voice his opinion. Not to say that you're going to voice it to the point where you beat me down and you think I'm nothing,
Exactly.
but you use your voice like, that's probably not the best idea for us as a couple. Let's talk about this. Not where I say something and it just is because I'm the alpha
Exactly.
female. And I think a lot of females are misinterpreting what that means for them, because most women hear surrender and they think surrendering means this dude is beating the shit out of you. That's not what that means.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm an alpha female, right? That means that I will allow a man to lead me if you're worthy of leading me. I'm
Yes,
not
ma'am.
going to allow any man to lead me off the cliff into the
I
fucking
always
abyss.
say that. I'm like, I'm an alpha submissive. I know
So
when to play my part and I know when to step up. I'm an alpha submissive. I know when to be submissive. I know when I
right.
need to be submissive. I tell people all the time, they be like, well, I'm an alpha submissive. Figure it out.
a true woman knows where she's going to be submissive and understands where to step aside to allow her man to be a man. But me,
Exactly.
I'm never going to let a passive man come in my life and then run me off a cliff and you can't even manage
Mm-hmm.
yourself. No, that's not
Mm-hmm.
happening. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I think that's where women confuse what it is. Half of y'all don't even know what the fuck y'all want. And then y'all confuse these terms. There's a difference. You got to understand yourself. And this is why you need to learn who you are and what you want. Because I know
Exactly.
there's certain men that I could not date. I could not date a passive man because then you just allow me to do whatever the fuck. And that
Mm-hmm.
I would get bored with that very fucking quickly. I would need you to be
Mm-hmm.
able to say, wait a minute, let's talk about this. And I'm gonna listen to you. If it makes
Mm-hmm.
sense, okay, lead the way. But you damn sure ain't gonna lead me into poverty. I could do that shit on my own. You're not gonna lead me
Mm-hmm.
into scarcity, and you're not gonna lead me off into some bullshit either. Like I'm not that woman that so you have to know the type of woman you are and then date accordingly. Some of y'all are, I'm this type of woman, but I'm a date this type of man. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or I want this, but I'm a date this, which is totally opposite of what they want.
And then you're mad because you're trying to change him. All these women got these ideas of changing and molding a man. I'm not building a bear, okay?
Mm-mm.
I'm not over here playing build a bear. I'm not fucking over here
Mm-mm.
playing Legos with you. I'm not trying to mold you or create you into shit. Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
need you to have your identity in check, to know
Mm-hmm.
who the fuck you are and have a decent plan of where you think you're going, and we can come together. If not, I will fucking be single. That's how I feel
Yep.
about it.
I
And
feel the
again,
same
you
way.
can't say you want this type of man, but you dating this.
Exactly. And expecting, that's the thing that kills me. They expecting other than what you're dating. You know who you dating. Why are you
right,
expecting that person to act
right.
other than who you dating? You
You know
know
what
who you
people do,
dating.
Ron?
Oh, y'all just made me think of a thought. So when I was in them streets, so I used to put them in categories. So when I got tired, um, and I used to be like, okay, yeah, you that I call them night flyers. So the night flyer was you can't be seen in the daytime. You just so you just
Trisha,
like
don't come to my house.
you just yeah, you just so you toe up from the flow up. I can't be seen
Seen
and
with you.
Real shit.
in the daylight hours like that, you that gremlin, you pour water on them, they multiply like you a night flyer. You only come out after midnight. Um then I had, you got the booty call hours. Then it was um we get down, I see you in public, I don't know you, you don't know me, keep it pushing. Then it was, you had the one you got to sit back and look at them, be like, are you truly relationship? Are you truly um? Do this look like it might could go somewhere? Could I really see myself introducing you
Right,
one to my mama, then to my daddy, because my daddy does not have any filter.
right,
And if you go exit stay left, my daddy will put some hot ones in your hind parts.
right.
So, and then because I know my family really, you got to have a thick skin. So, do
Mm,
I really see myself? Yeah, you know what? This ain't gonna work. I can't see myself bringing you not around any. So yeah, we gonna keep this casual. If it lasts a few months, but I see you fading away.
right,
So
right,
you definitely got to put them in a category. Really, do you really? And then when you get tired of being in the streets, then you, like you said, you got to figure out
right.
really what your deal breakers are and what you willing to and not to accept. And for me,
Mm-hmm.
what I started to do before I sat down and figured out what my deal breakers was, I had to figure out what I liked. What
Right,
I liked and
right,
doing and figuring that out, I started I started to date myself.
right,
I started to date
Mm-hmm.
myself.
Right.
So I started to take myself to jazz clubs, fancy restaurants,
Mm-hmm.
weekend getaways, stuff like that to figure out stuff that I did my own little bucket list on stuff I wanted to,
Right.
check off with stuff I
Mhm.
wanted to experience or whatever, and kind of built from there.
Right.
Now, my husband that I have now, because my first husband, um, that
we all got the first one, the first
uh,
ones we don't want to talk about.
that he was the what do you say, the pilot program, the whatever. The but my husband now, I say now, if don't nobody know your time of day, you get called to glory. But if he go first and I don't want Ned, another man. One, because anybody that come after him, they not gonna compare. They not gonna compare. Because my
Mhm.
husband is does everything like, yeah, they not gonna compare because they not gonna do what he do. They not go-
Right.
they not gonna compare at all. And they
Like,
gonna have hell on their hands to compete. Like,
right.
you not gonna do
Can't
you
feel them
not,
shoes.
yeah, they gonna be like he did
But
well.
you knew what you wanted. You took time for
He
you. So when you picked him the
right.
second go round, you made a good pick. There's some
Right.
women who is still picking the same wrong person, just the same person in a different body.
Unhealed.
They
I'm gonna
the
tell
same person in a different body
I'm gonna tell you right now
because they ain't work
that
on themselves.
it's so bad. It's so bad that that if I called my family, if my husband was to go into the hospital, I promise you, my family probably would create a GoFundMe, do a fish fry, sell plates to find the number one doctors in the world
To
to
help.
save my husband, so they would not have to deal with me. That's how bad it is. I
Right.
promise you.
Right.
So they ain't got to deal with me. I promise you. That's how
You
bad it
know,
is.
what I'm a single woman and I'm in my 40s. And one of the top things I look at, and I tell everyone this, I have conversations now. And my conversations, I don't care about your favorite color right now. I don't care about your favorite movie. The conversations we
Mhm.
gonna have is gonna tell me a lot about how you move financially without asking you about how much you make. The conversations we gonna have is gonna tell me how you respect women without me asking you, do you
Mhm.
respect women? All right.
Mhm.
You got to ask the right questions. And the conversation has to be because that person is going to talk and tell you just the way they are in
Exactly
that
what you need to
conversation.
know.
And
Mhm.
if you are listening, which most women, please, y'all understand, y'all don't fucking listen. Okay. If you are listening, you will see and hear right through all of that shit. And if you're in
Mhm.
tune with your body, that intuition is going to scream at you because he's saying one
Mhm.
thing, but your whole energy is just like,
Yep.
mm. So one
Mhm.
of
I
the
tell
biggest
people that
things, the
all
first
the
things I
time.
look at is how a man talks about a woman.
Mhm.
What's his relationship with his mother?
His mom. Mhm.
Because that child wounding from the mom, I'm not trying to be your mother, and I ain't trying to be
Mhm.
your fucking therapist.
Mhm.
No. So if you already got issues, you need to go get professional help because we ain't doing that. I'm not your mom. I ain't your therapist. Mm-mm. So there's got to be something where you have to think outside of that normal box of just, oh, do you want kids? No, you don't want kids. What's your favorite color? Oh, you like this rock music? Oh,
Mhm.
I love that music too. Oh, no, because at some point shit gonna get very fucking real. What's your political
Exactly.
views? You popping off all this bullshit political views? I'm not about to switch over to your Democratic ways or your Republican ways or whatever the fuck
Mhm.
you call yourself. People got to have those conversations where it's like,
Yep.
let me hear who you really are, not who you want to be. And one of the things that I feel like people always did wrong with dating was when a man, you see how many men will ask you, what's your type? I say, I don't have a type. Because I
Mhm.
don't want to tell you what you think I want, and now you're playing the bro. And this is why women are like, "Oh, he did everything right in the
Yep.
beginning. He did everything
All the
that
time.
well, you gave him a whole fucking 5-page essay on what you wanted."
Mhm.
You gave
Sit
him
there and
you gave
tell
him the
you what
answers to
your
the test.
what your ex didn't do. You sit there and tell what your
You,
ex didn't do, so he gonna do the opposite.
you already gave him all of
but
the
wait
shit.
a minute. But wait a minute. How about I know this girl? This dude literally right now has told her, and she's still, and I'm sitting, it's like watching a slow train wreck. And it's like he's literally done told you what he not gonna do. What like it
That's where they think they gonna change a man.
why are you
They think they
wasting
gonna
your
change him.
time?
Because
Like
the
what?
delusion,
Exactly.
the delusion
The
says,
perfect word. They
Like,
delusional.
and it's like, what the? Like, are you literally trying to keep hope alive? Like,
because the
he done,
delusion says one day I will become what he wants. One day he will change.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, people do not change for you. They change for
Exactly.
themselves. There's no
Exactly.
guarantee that somebody is going to change to become the person that you need.
and you know,
Mhm.
and this is what I say. Sometimes I be hoping, like I have these moments when, and I tell you this all the time. Where I hate these moments where I be like, sometimes I be hoping my intuition to just be so wrong. Like, just
Mhm.
I be hoping my intuition just be like, bitch, be wrong one day, just be wrong. But
Mhm.
something is telling me where you done sat here and you done gave this boy 3-4 years, and he gonna meet Brenda around the corner, and him and Brenda gonna be married in 2 days
Mhm.
when he done told you that he don't want a wife and he don't never want to be married.
See, and that's where I think the education of women with women need to be more of what conversations are you having, and don't stay in this delusional state of
Yeah.
with this person, because men are actually not that hard to figure out.
They're
They're
not.
actually very simple when it comes to mating and procreation and relationships, right?
But that's the thing, you know me. I have these conversations because I don't have
Mhm.
no tact and I don't have no filter.
You
And
can't
then
you can't make her change nothing different. She just gonna have
I
and
to
was
learn
just
then
it
about
her
to
way.
say
so
that's
then
a
so
self
then
thing.
my
She has
so
to deal
then
with
my
herself.
so then my always, this is my always go-to phrase, you like it, I love it. You
It's
like
Okay.
a
it, I
self
love it.
thing.
See,
She got to
and
see that for herself.
that's where I become the person of I don't want to hear it anymore. Because that's
Mhm.
I'm become the person of real quick. I don't want to hear it. I'm not the person that you call to keep complaining about the man you've been complaining about for 3 years.
Exactly.
It's not gonna happen. I don't want to hear it. I don't have those conversations. I don't.
Or they be aware of the red flags, but they ignore the red flags. I tell people this all the time. Those same red flags that you ignore is going to be the same red flags of why your relationship
Right.
ends.
Well, a
Because
lot of
it's not
women.
going to go away. They're there. You're going to ignore them. And those are going to be the same reasons why
Mhm.
y'all don't work out, because you ignore those. They were there and you chose to act like they weren't there or to ignore them. And now you are dealing with exactly those same red flags that now you like, I can't deal with it no more.
Well, remember, a lot of women were raised with the bullshit of it's better to have a man than not have a man, right? But what a lot of those women missed in translation was making sure that you are fighting for the right man. Don't
Fighting
be
for
over here
right.
fighting for this man and dragging your ass through the mud and doesn't do shit for you at all. That's not what she was talking about when she said to do everything to hold on to your man. Make sure he's worthy of all that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The thing is, you guys, we all agree. We're not afraid to be alone. I'm not afraid to be alone. There's nothing
Me either.
in me that's afraid to be alone. So my bed is very empty, and I like it like that. Before I will put in anybody just to say I got a body next to me. That's not
Mm-hmm.
happening. Nor will that ever happen to me. Because again, like I said, I have conversations, and in those conversations, you're gonna see. And I'm not judgmental, but I know what I want and what I don't want. So when I'm looking at and talking to someone, unhealed wounds comes out very fucking quickly. And in the thing, Katrina, what you're saying, that unfortunately, when you get to a certain space, especially where I'm at, intuition is man, sometimes you just be like, can I just go back to being where I don't fucking know shit?
Trust me, I know the same thing. That happens to me with men, with family, with friends. One day I will wake up and be like, yo, I'm falling back from this chick. Don't know why,
You
But
just feel it.
obviously Spirit told me to.
You can feel
And
it.
give it a few days and I'll know exactly why. Like,
You just
or
feel
wake
it.
up and be like, oh, no, I don't feel like texting him back. I'm going to fall back. And I swear we'll fall back and never hear from him again. And it'll be
Right.
a reason why he'll keep texting me.
Yeah. And it's not even just the intuition. I get dreams.
Mhm.
Spirit gonna make sure I see some shit.
Trust me.
And it's all over with. Once I get the dream, once it just all coincides, I can't operate the same with your ass no more.
That's so true. I'm like that too. Like my intuition be so serious right now. Like my spirit guides be having my back for real, for real.
So
And I'll
now
be like,
dating.
yo,
So just think about now dating with that. Dating with that, it'd be like,
I say
fuck.
that all the time. Dating, I don't have a date. I don't date. I can't date because it takes 2.2 seconds for me to see who you are. Because, like you said, they go and tell they by the reaction of regardless to money. Because that's another thing. How are you going to react if you do lose your job? What are you going to do? Because I don't need you to fold.
Right.
So you could tell by people's reaction. What are you going to do if I do get sick?
Right.
I don't need you to fold. These are serious conversations because these are things that happen in relationships. You could meet a man and 2 months out, he loses his job, you lose your job, and now y'all facing homelessness. How are you and me going to react to this? Because if I'm going to go all crazy and you going to go, I don't need that.
Right.
I don't need you to be crying with me. You know what I mean? So little things like that. And like you said, especially with the mother thing. If you have a bond with your mom and your kids, that's another thing. If you got kids and you don't talk about them kids and you have no bond with your kids,
Right.
or that mother, you sitting there talking bad about your mama, bruh, this is the woman who brought you to this life and you have no respect for her. How the hell am I going to think you're going to have respect for me?
The only way I would actually date someone who has the trauma is if they are actively seeking help.
Exactly.
If they are actively seeking help, then I'd be open to date someone who has the traumas that they've gone through. Because I have traumas. I'm not going to be judgmental because you got trauma, but if you're actively healing, you're actively going through, whether you're doing alternative healing, whether you're doing therapy, whatever you're doing, you're actively trying to work through your issues. Because I get it. We all have issues and some parents aren't the best parents, right? But these are questions that you should ask because you got to see where this person is. You got to see on not just a superficial level. You got to go deeper in your conversation. Don't be having that first date and you just talk about a bunch of bullshit because anyone could shoot the shit. I could fucking talk to anybody anywhere about anything and you wouldn't think that I like you because just my nature of who I am. It don't mean I like you.
That's so true. I'm like that too.
Conversation, So I think people have to take that step back. Yeah, stop telling people what you want.
I tell people that all the time. Childhood traumas become adult traumas and it falls into your relationship. So if you don't heal them childhood traumas, you are now going to be an adult with trauma. You have to heal those childhood traumas before you can allow yourself to love anybody. Also, I tell people, if you cannot love yourself, how you expect someone to love you if you don't know what it is? I was talking to a dude the other day, one of my exes. We was just talking about relationships and he was telling me how he was talking to a girl. Then he was telling me that it's the girl at his job who said she liked him, she want to get with him. And he said, I asked her, he said, yo, a lot of women can't even answer this question. And he asked her, what more can you bring to the relationship other than sex or doing my laundry or cooking for me? Because I can do it myself. And he said she could not answer that. And me and him had a deep conversation and he was like, yo, you are so deep and real. I said, you know what? A lot of men also can't answer that question because a man thinks that he answers that by saying financially or giving you some good dick or taking you out to places. And we can do that ourselves because if I work, I can finance myself. I can take myself out. And we all know dick is a dime a dozen and we can purchase that. So, bruh, you got to give me something that I cannot purchase. You know what I mean? Like, and not even be my peace because I don't want no one to be my peace. Because if you're my peace, when you're gone, you're going to take my peace with you. I need you to be at peace with yourself. So while I'm at peace with myself, you at peace with yourself, and together we will be at peace. Because if you're not at peace with yourself, you're going to cause chaos in my life.
Right. Right.
So yeah, a lot of men can't answer that either. They are not at peace with themselves. So how you expect us to be at peace? But they always want the women. Oh, I need a chick to be my peace. Can you be your own peace? Can you sit in your own by yourself? Can you
Right.
be by yourself and like being by yourself? Can you be your peace? What are you doing in your life to have peace? Because if
Right.
every time you turn around, you go and at it with your family or with your baby mother or with your friends, you're not at
Right.
peace.
Well, that's where, just like women have taken some of these things that have been passed down, men have taken that and don't realize that it's not she is your peace. She's peaceful, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you also have to carry that peace, right? Because all if you don't have the peace, you got chaos. And if you
Mm-hmm.
got chaos, doesn't matter how peaceful she is, it's always going to be some fucking chaos.
Yep.
And that's where the language of the stuff that we've learned, that's why we're applying it in all these different spaces. And again, we're not having the right conversations, because even though, yes, finances matter, when I'm talking to someone, I'm not asking them how much I make. One, what you make is your money. Until we get to
Mm-hmm.
a point that we say we're gonna only date each other and we want to live together, your
Mm-hmm.
finances don't mean shit to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not expecting you to pay my bills because we're dating or that we're
Mm-hmm.
talking. I'm not requiring you to, you know what I mean? None of that changes. I'm not about to pay
Exactly.
your fucking bills in the dating or the talking phase. So I think asking somebody how much they make, wouldn't be opposed if someone made less than me, because I don't have that ego to where, and there's a lot of women who have an ego, they won't date
Mm-hmm.
someone who makes
Where
less.
it matters. Mm-hmm.
And I think if you have a great income and they have a decent income, why is it bad if he makes a little bit less than you?
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to focus on the shit that matters, because you can find a guy who has a decent job.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he ain't making 100 grand, 200 grand a year, but he has a decent job, right? And then he's respectable. He comes from a pretty decent, not a
Exactly. His
dysfunctional family,
character is awesome. And
you
you can
know?
have a man who make a good amount of money and his character is shit. He
You
could care less about women, have no
right.
respect for women, don't, just don't have and make a pretty dollar. And it's sad because a lot of women would choose that dude over the other dude
Yeah.
just so they can benefit from his pocket. And it's sad because like what you said, me personally, if I have my own money, I could care less about what you got going on. I'm not clocking your pockets the same way you shouldn't clock my pockets. But I can say this, we are in a dating pool, and I think this is why I don't date, because a lot of people on females and male side, they are not dating for love. They're dating for help. And it's sad. They are not dating for love. They are dating for help. They are dating to finance their lifestyle that they don't finance themselves or can't finance themselves. And it looks like love, but it's not love. People are not genuinely dating for love anymore that I have seen just by conversations on females and male side. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want no
What you
parts
could
of
get.
that.
It's
I
what you
want
can
no
get, what you
parts.
can get. That's why I think that being okay to take your time and have conversations with people versus even going to a dating stage. I
Mhm.
can have a conversation with somebody cool. That conversation is going to say whether or not I want another conversation with you.
Exactly.
It don't gotta be go out to dinner. You can do something simpler. Just go coffee or lunch
Mhm.
or brunch. It doesn't have to
Mhm.
be dinner, and just having that being okay to have conversations. And again,
Mhm.
where you'll hear people, I'm tired of saying my favorite color. Stop talking about your favorite fucking color.
Exactly. Like, come on now. To me, those are simple things. Like you said, we got to talk about major things.
Because
How are you going to react
if
in a
we have a
situation?
conversation and people are like, oh, well, we don't want to talk about the serious stuff on a first date, if we get into abortion and you tell me women don't have the right, we ain't
Mhm.
talking no more. I'm
Exactly.
sorry.
There's no reason for us to even continue this conversation. It's going to be a waste of
Exactly.
time
What's the
from
point?
jump. Let's end
Chemistry.
this.
It's like chemistry don't mean shit to me right now. I know chemistry needs to be there, but if you are fuck women and we got good chemistry, what is that? That's all sexual.
Exactly.
So
tell people that
and
all the
that would
time.
be a turn off anyway for you to even say some shit like that. So that's why you gotta be able to step outside the box, have serious conversations, not be afraid to talk about it. If your views are this, talk about those politics on the first fucking date. You're gonna see really quickly the asshole that's in front of you. And men, vice versa.
Yep.
You're gonna see the woman that knows nothing about politics. Hey, maybe that's a good or bad thing. I don't know. You know, but if you're on this first date, you start talking about some real shit about, like, even if you're talking about you bring up the women's prison issue and they don't give a fuck. Hey, that says a lot about you that you don't care. And again, not to say that you can't date someone who's had trauma, because you can. But if this person starts talking about trauma and shit that they've gone through, but they have not mentioned the therapy behind it, this might not be the person for you right now.
Or even they don't acknowledge they had trauma. So many people are in denial that they even have trauma.
True.
They're not even aware they have trauma, but you can tell by the way they move that they did.
Because when the dude talk about his
that's what I say.
baby
You
mamas,
can tell by the way they move. You can tell by the way they act. You can
once that dude said he got 3 baby mamas, you like, wait a minute. So
yeah, you got some issues going. Exactly.
3 women. So tell me about that. Let's talk about that real quick. Because it ain't everybody else. At some point, there's a pattern. You're gonna see that these baby mamas have.
That's what I was saying earlier. Like with her husband, she dealt with herself. She knew what she wanted. So that second choice was obviously a right choice. When you constantly making the same wrong choice, that means you need to work on you. Because again, it's the same situation, but just a different body. It's the same situation, just a different man. You going through the same shit. That's because you need to take some time, like she did, and know what you like and know what you want. You cannot have somebody know how to treat you if you don't know how to treat yourself. And a lot of women don't know how to treat themselves. They out there thotting like a motherfucker, doing anything for that top dollar. And you expect some dude to treat you with respect when you're not even treating your own self with respect? Come on, like that's delusional in itself. A person is going to treat you the way you put yourself out there. I tell people this all the time. A dude, I've been to bars and stuff where dudes don't approach me. And I will have a dude who has the will to come and say, yo, I wasn't going to approach you, but I was like, fuck it, I'm going to approach you. And then I have some that be like, yo, your face, I did not want to approach you because you look like you are not having it. And then there's some that takes the chance. And then there's some that's like, they know they cannot hit you with no bullshit. Like she is in her goddess energy. You can feel that. So some dudes know not to even come your way. And then some dudes is like, you know what? I'm all for it. Because they be on they shit.
I personally will not date a man who has a poor relationship with his baby mamas. And I know a lot of people will get mad at that, but I will tell you why. Because that man has not figured out and is still angry with that baby mama. Y'all got unresolved issues that you're still carrying with this person, and her vice versa. So y'all have never said, let's get out of our egotistical bullshit to co-parent our children. I don't have respect for that.
That's
you know, I was a mother who raised a daughter that her father was not there. And the love child he had prior to my daughter, I was helping to raise. And I would always push him to go get his son, even though he had his son with a girl I knew. And so after my baby daddy, I don't see the situation the same no more, because I'm like, if you can't get out of your own way to parent this child that you fucking brought into this world, we can't be together. And I see a lot of women that, and they'll say this was a situation when they met him, but then still got with the man. And it's like, you got with a man who wasn't taking care of his kids, but you thought somehow he was going to be the perfect father for you,
and then turn around and go have his baby. And then when they break up, he don't take care of that kid, and they be shocked.
No.
How the fuck
like,
you
where
shocked?
Did you think
he already
your
showed
kids
you
was gonna your kids was gonna be better?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, how are you shocked? Now y'all broke up, and now he treating you how he was treating the other baby mother, and you shocked. Yeah, how are you shocked? Like, you seen this, you seen his character. That is obvious who he is. But you went and go had a baby. Then sometimes they'll have 2, 3, 4 babies. from this dude, and then you mad. You mad about what? You think he ain't take care the first baby? Like what? Again, the word delusional, and it's sad because a lot of women are delusional.
Right. I won't. I like I said, I'm a woman, and I'm a mother, and that a part of me makes me see shit differently. And being that single mom just made me look at shit differently, where I cannot respect a man that doesn't take care of his kids. And I know that there's situations, but at some point, you got to grow the fuck up and choose to co-parent. Right. The child is more than your beef with your baby mama or baby daddy. And if you can't understand that, me and you can't date because you're on a different level.
But I always say that too. I say like when two parents can't co-parent, when two parents cannot co-parent, there is bitterness from something. Somebody ain't ready to let go or wasn't ready to let go. Because if you are both on the same page and y'all both chose to let it go, y'all will be able to co-parent. When one is being toxic on either side, because like you said, I'm a woman first, but they are some toxic ass baby mothers who give hell to their baby fathers who want to be there. But again, it goes on both ends. There's some bitter shit going on. And like you said, they are not grown enough to put their personal shit to the side and have the best interest of the child, because that's what it all boils down to. I don't give a fuck if she still love you or you still loved her, or she cheated on you or you cheated on her. Okay, and y'all chose not to be together. How do y'all move forward and become co-parents? Like, I don't want to hear those stories. Like, a dude could not sit here and bash his baby mother to me because I'm not going to co-sign it. The same way a girl cannot sit here and bash her baby father to me because I'm not going to co-sign it. Because we all play a part in that shit. There's some toxic ass baby mothers.
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
That a lot of women don't like to talk about, but wrong is wrong because they can't get over him because they're using a child as a pawn or some form of control that they no longer have because he's not their man, but they have that control through that child.
Right.
If you don't come see me, and they do it, they come see me, and then when a dude come, they half naked at the door, trying to, knowing that they got a man, knowing that he got a girl, but they could care less, so they could go tell the girl, oh, that's why he's still fucking me. You look stupid. Like you playing yourself, because at the end of the day, and there's some dudes that do it. Some dudes still fucking their baby mothers. Why? Because their baby mothers are allowing them to still fuck them. And don't be doing shit for their kid. No, but they still giving them pussy.
That part I cannot understand.
I never could understand that.
That part I cannot understand because I just could not be that way with my daughter's father. You know what I mean? And I remember even when me and him were splitting up, it was at the end of our relationship. And he ended up getting some chick pregnant. And that was it for me. It was like, I'm not raising another fucking kid that you decided to have with somebody. You know what I mean? That was it. It was like, no more. I took in the first one because it wasn't his fault. You know what I mean? I'm not doing another one. Like, that's not going to happen. I was like, I'm over this shit. I'm done. And it was like, I remember there was this part where he was trying to get back with me, but still trying to be with the girl. And he decided to take my daughter with him to their barbecue with this girl that he's all up on. Right. But then he kept trying to come be with me. And I flipped the fucking script. I was like, you think I'm crazy? I'm going to show your ass crazy right now, because you're not going to disrespect my daughter and have her thinking that this shit is okay for you to hop houses. Like, this shit is just the norm. That shit ain't going to happen. I went the fuck off. Like, really.
No, they do. Those dudes,
never
and then the
thing. Okay.
They think that every female is like that. Every baby mother. You cannot. I've been separated from my husband 3.5 years, and I have not slept with him in 3.5 years. And that's my husband. We're still legally married, but we're separated. I'm not fucking you again. I don't give a please. Like, but these dudes think that they could do that. These dudes think they could still sleep with their baby mothers because these baby mothers is letting them sleep with them. Then the next day they calling the girlfriends to be like, oh yeah, oh this, so they can have something to throw in their face or something. And he's like, really?
You have to have more self-respect for you, because even after that, he didn't show up to be a father. So years passed by. My daughter's like 10 now. Years passed by. He ain't sent a check, nothing. And then he pops up to take her to, some amusement. And of course, my daughter is what, 10, and she's like, come mom. So me and my brother, we all go, and I could see in my daughter's eyes, she just want mom and dad to be together. But I'm looking at him like, bitch, don't get a twinkle in your eye, because that is not happening. You ain't
right. Just because we out here co-parenting doesn't mean you coming back home with
not
me.
a co-parent. You ain't been here for years. You just pop up and think that you just pop up and, oh hell, father, because now you taking her to amusement park. Good for fucking you. That don't mean shit changes with us. And so I went and kept it peaceful, but I was like, me and you will never be again, because I lost all respect for you when you decided not to be a father and go raise somebody else's kids. That shit does not change me. I'm like, no, sorry. That the whole, us, that changed. All of that is done. So I just look, and even some of like the people I knew was like, ooh, and I'm like, ooh, what? He got a whole fucking wife or a whole girl, a whole other kid. Ooh, what? I'm like, the mindset of people sometimes is like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Yeah,
like,
people don't realize them men not taking care of their kids. That is a hella
how would
turn
you even
off.
want to be with a man who don't
exactly
take care of
that is a hella turn off.
What?
Like that's nah. Mm-mm.
I'm like, the shit. Again, that's could never be me. I've just never been that woman, and I don't see how women do it, because
me either.
Again, I even as a woman who got cheated on, enough was enough. At some point it was like, no, we not gonna do this forever and always, and you just gonna keep having fucking babies, and I'm gonna just keep taking you back, and that's just gonna be the happily ever after. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I mean, they do it. These baby mothers do it. They know a dude got a whole girlfriend. Boom, he'll come through, see his kid, fuck her, and now she pregnant and keep that baby. I've done seen it. I done have friends like that. And I'm like, yo, what? And she like, oh, he came through. I'm pregnant and I'm keeping it. And I'm like, what? Like, just for you to be able to say that you slept with him.
As a man, if you look at a man like that, that's not a man who values family.
Exactly.
And like I said, if you're not a man who's fighting to be in your children's life, maybe your baby mama is crazy. Okay. Maybe she is crazy, right? Because I've seen them. But that man still fights to be in their child's life. Goes through court. My brother went through court, had to get custody and all that, share custody and shit like that. If you're a man who really values being a father, he's going to go to the extent like, you know what? Fuck you, crazy bitch. I'm still going to see my kid.
That is so true.
Somehow I'm going to have my, where I don't even deal with your ass. You know what I mean? So
that is so true. I have 2 friends who are single fathers, and one of them, he done had both his kids since they were little. And she's not involved. She comes every now and then to see them and stuff. But like you said, that he did what he had to do, and they found fit that I have 2 friends that are single fathers. And like you said, yeah, that's how you eliminate a whole lot of shit to where you ain't got to deal with no dumb shit no more. If you see how toxic or she using your child as a way of controlling you, you have to sometimes step in and let other, the authorities come in. I mean, a lot of people don't like putting the white man in a business, the courts in a business, this, that, and the third. But if you can't get through, you got to do what you got to do. Because again, if it's the best interest of the child, you're going to do what you got to do.
Right. Especially in like my younger years of dating, if I met a man that had a young child, like 3, a toddler, I would always say before it even went anywhere else, like we wouldn't even get through the talking phase, because I would be like, look, if you could make it work with your baby mama, make it work with your baby mama. You know what I mean? Because as a single mom with a daughter that was 3, 4, 5 years old, it was just like, I already knew how it was and how hard it was. And it was like, if you still love her, if there's any ounce of you that still fucking loves her, go try to make it work. Like, why are you out here trying to date?
That is so me. I swear, I've told people that.
I have been the guidance counselor of men for decades. Y'all don't even know how many conversations I have. And as soon as they say that young baby, I'm like, no, you ain't over her. Boo boo, let me tell you
Exactly.
something real quick.
Or when they sitting and they telling you how she cheated and yeah, you
Right.
not over it. Y'all
You're
not
not over it. You
together.
shouldn't even be
Y'all not
talking to me
together
about
due
this
to
chick.
circumstances. Y'all not together
Mm-mm.
because y'all chose not to be. Y'all not together
Right.
due to circumstances.
Right.
That's where a lot of it, they don't be over it. And
Right.
that's where they keep dibbing and dabbing and coming back and this, that, and yeah, I don't want no parts of it. You ain't gonna have me in the middle of
Right.
that shit.
That's and I've been a firm woman on that, where I'm just like, no, you not over her. You know,
Mhm.
you need to go try to work that out, you know. And I just refuse to be that other woman. I refuse to be the woman on the side, and I refuse to be
Yep.
in between what possibly could happen, you know, because I just knew and had that feeling. And I think more women need to stop being in their selfish moments of what you think you
Mhm.
want in this, and look at the bigger picture. If you look at the
Yep.
bigger picture, more than likely you're gonna see this ain't the one for you, and you shouldn't even keep going with this one, you know. And I just think you gotta have standards. Like I do. A man that doesn't take
It
your
goes with a lot of
we
stuff.
can't be
When you
together.
have self-respect, you kind of know, like, yo, this ain't it. You know what I mean? That self-respect plays a big
And
part
you
of
can't
stuff.
tell me all your baby mamas is crazy and I'm gonna believe you. Mm-mm.
Right, exactly.
You the common denominator in this situation. All once you
Mhm.
say all, how many baby mamas you got? You know what I mean? And when that list keeps
Hmm.
going, it's like, nope, you're not the one for me. I'm sorry. And people,
Exactly.
I have a preference, and I don't date nobody with no babies. So if you got some toddlers, don't get in my DMs, because we're not chit chatting. Soon as you say them ages, I'm gonna look at you like, I'm 43. I'm not dealing with nobody's crazy baby mamas. Okay, at
Exactly.
this age, like it's not going down.
I'm
So
45 and I ain't dealing with nobody crazy, baby mama. I ain't dealing with no back and forth shit. Nah.
So
Mm-mm.
if you and your baby, if your kids is teens and you still calling her crazy, that's red flags to me, and I don't want to be a part of it. Just
Hmm.
you gotta think, what do you want to happen in life? I don't like anybody in this world that much where I am willing to fuck up my peace to join y'all drama. Y'all can keep that
Yes,
drama
thank
to
you.
yourself and date somebody else. And I think more people have to be willing to say, you know what? That's not my cup of tea right there. I don't
Mhm.
think I want to
From
join that
jump,
circus
not wait
train.
till they end the situation and then realize, yeah, this ain't for me. No, you know from jump, because you kind of know where it's gonna lead.
You
Like
know
you
what I
gotta some people actually really be like they know where it's gonna go, still choose to do it, and then
Mm,
later on be like, yo, yeah, no, you knew from the jump. Like, come on, don't be shocked later on when you like, oh, this nigga doing this, that, and the third. You knew
right.
from the jump.
Right. Like you got to have some standards, and you got to be willing to have some concrete conversations, and not just some bullshit superficial level conversations. You got to be willing to talk about the deep stuff that matters to you, because that shit's going to come up.
Hmm.
It's going to come up
Hmm.
at some point, and then you in delusion town thinking that something's going to change when this person is
Hmm.
telling you to your face what they do and don't want, how they feel about you. And I can't have a man that don't respect me as a woman. If you see me as
Mhm,
some low class, second level piece of shit, then no, we can't be together. You know,
mhm,
like I wouldn't even want to. You that doesn't even turn me on. like, like that don't get me wet. Knowing you feel I'm shit, I'm nothing to you. That don't turn me on. I need someone who appreciates me as a woman
right.
and has that respect as a woman, and respects women in general. Like there's some things that I think
Mhm.
women, we got to do better. We got to set the bar. The
Oh,
bar ain't
shit.
high enough. Apparently, the bar is not high enough
Nah,
out
it's true. You
here.
gotta stand in your truth. Like to
Fuck.
me, women be given up too easy. Like they be willing to accept things too easy. Like you say, you gotta stand your ground. You gotta stand your shit. Cause if that's your person, y'all gonna be together. Let's just keep it a buck. If he's
Right.
your person, you gotta stand your shit though. Don't try to be like, oh, you know what? Let me
Right.
do this. Let me lower this. Maybe my standards. Nah, your standards is your standards.
Right.
Like keep them where they need to be.
Right. And I changed too, because I used to be okay with casually dating, casual sex,
Mm,
but that's changed in the
that's
last
like
few
me too.
years. I'm not open
Yeah.
to just casual sex no more. And it's been a big change because I used to be someone who was very like, man, I need it right now. I'm about to go get you got at least one friend on the phone that you can call.
No,
Like,
it's true. That shit has a lot
no,
to do with self, though. Because I know with me, like, I've been celibate now going on 10 months.
right,
And it's like, I don't even want to think for you to touch.
right,
Like,
right,
no, like,
right.
not worthy. Like, I
I've been
just
a
feel like
year now.
nobody's
It's
worthy
a
right
year
now.
now.
Like, you're not
Right.
worthy for me to be like, no, no,
I'm very
no.
protective of my body now, that I
Mm-hmm.
haven't been ever in my life. And I am very just turned off by a lot of shit. Like, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So that conversation, if it don't get me moist, man, the
No, it's
conversation we
true.
talk
Like I
about.
don't. That's how I am. I don't even want to go to dinner. I don't even want to go have a
Ah,
movie. I don't. I
right,
don't even want you to be in my energy. Like I really
right.
feel like a lot of dudes is not worthy of being in my energy. Like
They not.
honestly, I
They
be
not.
turning down stuff all the time, and
And then
sometimes I'll be like, "Oh, I should get out the house," but then I'll be like, "Nah, I don't even feel
what
like
is,
like."
I mean, we kind of know by now where we're at. Like once you get to a certain age, you kind of know it ain't gonna be worth it. It's not gonna be worth
That's
it.
what I'm saying. Off a conversation, you already know, and like I'll
Nine
be at
times
that
out
point.
of 10 is not. I could have did that shit with my toy. Like I really could have
Like
done that
I'm
shit
just
with my
saying in
toy. Let's
general,
be
just
honest.
even a movie, I don't even be feeling like they worthy of being in my presence. Like that's where I'm at, honestly. Like in
I wouldn't mind like going out because dating is dating. Dating is fun if you allow it to be fun. But if you go too serious in dating, then you're not going to be able to have fun with it. But
but
going
you know
out,
what? A lot of the times you can be so compatible over the phone through text messages. You could
yeah,
be vibing, be
uh-huh,
so compatible. Y'all got the same interests, y'all got the this, that, and the third. And
uh,
then when you meet them, that
yeah,
energy is off.
yeah,
You're not feeling them energy wise. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of the times that's why I be telling like one of my friends, she does a lot of online dating. And I'm like, I can't do online dating because my
no,
thing, I gotta feel your energy. Cause we could be compatible. We could be rocking all day, conversation crazy, 2, 3, 4 hours every day. And
right,
then come around you, and now
right,
you in my presence and your energy sucks. You know what
Because
I
exactly,
I
mean? Now,
because
cause you
I
can't
think
fake
most people
energy. You
because I
can't
think
fake energy.
most people gonna give you their representative.
right,
They're gonna
Exactly.
give
That's what
you
I
that.
mean.
That's
You
their
can't fake
representative.
energy. You
right.
cannot fake energy. You gonna feel that energy. You could fake conversation.
Yeah,
You
they will
could
give you their
fake
Right,
representative.
compatibility over the
right,
phone. You can make it seem like you're very compatible with that person.
right.
And now when you in that person's presence, your energy is going to tell it off.
Something's
You can't
off.
fake energy.
Uh,
And I think people I think you just gotta come across the people that's true and honest,
right,
whether it's in person or online.
right.
You just gotta find the people that's true and honest. And the reason why I say that is because I met my husband online,
Mm,
and it was not intentional. It was my god sister set me up. So you know how people like they I get these um I was getting these links or whatever. And I was on Facebook, and you know how you click on the link and you click off, and I didn't think nothing about it. Well,
mm,
when I hit the link, I didn't know that it gave me an account.
mm,
And it was way back in the day when it was MySpace, but it was and she had sent me a link, an
Mhm.
email link to tag. And I
mm,
didn't know when I clicked the link on and that it had created me a tagged account. And I was bored one day and I was just surfing on the thing.
right.
So I was on tagged and I was like, shit, I'm hungry. I didn't want to pay. I was hungry and horny. I ain't gonna lie to
She
you.
said,
I was
hungry and
hungry
horny.
and horny, and I didn't want to spend no money, and
Right,
I wanted to. So I'm on tag. So I met my husband. I was like, okay, we at lunch. Okay, this we finna do. So that's what it was. We was supposed to be in a booty call and lunch. That was it.
right,
And that's how I met my husband. But we put it up on front. This is what we doing. So
mm,
it we wasn't looking to hook up or had no
right,
relationship or none of that. It's if they're being true, genuine, honest. ain't no, this is the cards on the table, this is what you get.
Right.
It's when you meet them people, like you said, they gonna show you what they want to show you. That's why I said you meeting their representative. You ain't
Mhm.
meeting them.
Right. Right. It sound good, but
Yeah.
a bullshitter can't bullshit you for too long. If
Exactly.
if you sit back and listen, people get very antsy and talkative and run their fucking mouth. And somebody who's a liar can't remember all them lies. They don't even remember which lie they told to the last chick. Okay. If you allow yourself to just listen, you know, I'm the type of person who just listens. I let people dig their graves. That's the kind of person I am. You know, I let you dig your grave and let you think you got over. And it's okay, you know, because karma is gonna get you. I don't, I don't need to get you. Karma gonna get your ass. But yeah, you have to do. I'm not afraid to. I've done a lot of online dating. I just got tired of it. I got tired of the selections, and then when you start seeing the same people you didn't dissed come back around, you like, there's not enough people apparently in this city for me to date. That I'm
get
good.
jiggy with it.
But
I just
But
can't.
now
I don't know.
I will say this. I've been itching for one of my girlfriends. I'm not gonna do it, but I've been wanting to for one of my girlfriends or somebody to go do like a speed dating because I just want to go and be nosy and just
Always
see
wanted
how
to
it
do
works.
that. Actually,
I just want to go with somebody that want to go do speed dating so
You
I can
see,
see
that's
how it works.
different because you actually seeing them, you feeling it, and you know what I mean. And like I said, to me, it's so much easier to front online and say all the right things and do this, that, and the third. Because some men know how to do their research, know what to say to women, what women are looking for, and this, that, and the third. And they do research, especially on this online stuff. But like you said, with energy is different. So like the speed dating thing, I would do that because you kind of, you know what I mean. And you know how the universe work its way. So if it's meant for you to meet one of them, it's going to be weird how you meet one of them. You know what I mean?
no.
Or that feeling you
Universe
get.
ain't working in my favor right now because I ain't met nobody. So I'm like, so I had set this intention that if I got off online dating in 2021. I was like, fuck online dating. I'm sick of this shit. I ain't doing this shit no more. And so in 2021, I was just like, no more. But and I set this intention like, okay, my next snowman, I'm gonna meet him in person. I'm like, okay, universe, you're not working with me. Where the fuck they at? Okay. I set this intention. Now I done been to every gas station I could be at. I could be at every market your ass want me to be at. Where the fuck do I need to go to meet this soulmate? Okay. So now I'm just like, okay, well, maybe I need to go back online. But I was like, I don't even know what's the hip shit now. I don't even know what's the hip.
I can't. I don't know. Like
Now.
I swear,
Somebody brought me a comment and
I
tell
don't
me
know.
where is the hip.
my friends beach, like, because I have one friend and
I
she
don't
does
know.
online dating, and she even tried to
Ask her what is it? What is it called?
she even tried to make a profile, and I made her take it down. I was like, yo, if you don't take it down, she's like, yo, I made you a profile. I'm like, yo, if you don't take that down, I'm like, no, I don't. I don't know. It's just
I told
because I've
Spirit,
heard successful stories. Don't get me wrong. I've done heard
right. Some
successful
people have
stories.
met their soulmates on there.
I've heard horror stories. I think it's back what you were saying. I just can't deal with having to deal with the nonsense first before you probably do. You know what I mean? Meet your soulmate. I can't deal with the nonsense.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I came across some fools. Don't get me wrong. Before I met I came across some fools. Now I came across some fools.
Right.
So yeah,
I can't. You see, that's the energy. I can't deal with the nonsense. My tolerance is so low.
It wasn't a bunch. It was maybe 2 or 3 before I met my husband. It was maybe 2 or 3 before I met my husband. But it was just like, oh, I met him maybe like 1 or 2 times and was like, oh no, this ain't gonna work.
This ain't it.
This ain't gonna. Yeah, I'm out. It wasn't no. Oh,
right.
Nah, a couple times. Nah, this ain't even gonna work, partner. I'm out.
Right.
See, that's the thing. I can't deal with the conversations and the this and the that, and then I meet you and yeah, and you know what I mean. I'm just at a point where my tolerance is so low.
But it was like when I went in on it, I didn't go in on it looking like I was so
Mhm.
because I was going through it with my ex-husband. It was like I was to the point where
Right.
I wasn't looking for a relationship. It
Right.
was like I went in it with the mindset of I need a tune up every now and then. Y'all kick rocks. Go on about your business. We meet up somewhere. You ain't gonna know where I live at. You ain't
Right.
gonna. Yeah, I see you in the street. I don't know you.
Right.
You could say how you doing, whatever. Where I know you from? I know you. I don't
Right.
know you. You know all that type of
Right.
transaction going on. But back then, because I've been with my husband now, what 14 years, 14. Child, I don't know. I think it's 14 years. Child, I lost count. Um, and back then it was Facebook. I think had just started, so it was MySpace. I found him on Tag. Then it was what Black Planet. Was that the
I
thing?
heard of
Oh,
Black
that one.
Planet.
It
My
was.
my
I
friend
want to
used to do
say
Black Planet
it
back
was
in the days.
now Black Planet, girl. Black Planet was a disaster. It was like they was weird. They was weird. They was freaks. They
That sound
had
like adult friend. No, that
That
sound
they
like
sound like
was
Tinder. I heard
Plenty
they
of
stories
fish.
was
of people on Tinder. Oh,
Before
and
people
they
were
Plenty of
going on
Fish.
Tinder, plenty of fish was a thing.
yeah
That's what it.
they was weird. They was freaks. They had
Mm-hmm.
fetishes. They just had all kind of
Yeah,
it.
that POF sounds like that
Yeah,
because my
it
friend,
was.
she was on POF, met a
Yeah,
dude.
that
He
plenty of
stole
fish.
her rent
So that was
money and
yeah
he
that
stole her
was
rent money and everything.
I
yeah.
went
So
on quite a few dates from Plenty of Fish. I think that was the one that I was on there the longest. But you'd go on that date and be like, yeah, no. Like,
but
Yeah,
I
that's the one
heard
she was using. She was using that one a lot, the Plenty of Fish.
now, if
now.
you wanted to just get laid, oh, Plenty of Fish, that's the one. Like, if you just wanted to get laid, you could get one
So
real fucking quickly.
is Plenty of Fish the one where you swipe left and swipe right, or is that
That's
Tinder?
Tinder. That I think the swiping came with Tinder.
Okay, so I heard of Plenty of Fish and I heard of Tinder, and then of course, so ain't it a what? Well, you might try Christian Mingle. I don't know how that works.
Nah, I'm good.
And I'm
Oh,
trying to
oh
think
yeah,
what's
we definitely not going to be accepted in Christian Mingle.
you know.
Right.
Wait a minute. You know, look, quiet as it kept them. Lord Jesus know my heart, but some of them Christians, they might be Christian out in the church, but you don't know when them
See,
Christian
and I
clothes
can't
from
have that.
all.
I can't have you
Exactly.
outside talking all your biblical bullshit and then your ass
Hmm.
You
just
see what I'm
go
saying?
crazy. Yeah.
So don't look. I don't know if you like older men or not, but you know what they say, them silver foxes. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I
You know
don't
what?
know.
I don't have that preference right now
Um,
because I just, I'm
trying to
like
think what
trying to
else.
keep myself open to where I just say, okay, Spirit, bring me a good,
Um,
respectable man. Like that's,
I don't know. Hang out at the Home Depot and the Lowe's. I don't know.
I go
The
to Lowe's.
Home Depot.
I go to Home Depot.
Try Home Depot. What about I'm trying to
They
think.
not okay. So I'm gonna just say where I'm at now. Maybe that would have been a thing if I stayed in Orlando. But where I'm at now,
Hey, I heard wait a minute. So
ain't no choices out here for me.
ain't you? But wait a minute, you in the country, right?
I'm in Rock Island, Illinois.
But wait a minute. I thought don't
If I want a sugar daddy, oh yeah,
I
I probably
thought.
could
But
get one of
wait a
them.
minute. I thought the Cowboys or something. They got a dating
Cowboys.
like Cowboys got a ain't some Cowboys out there where you at? No,
This I don't know. I
I
ain't see
don't
no
know.
cowboys out here.
I look. I'm trying to keep hope alive for you. Hold on.
Where I'm at, you really see a lot of either old people or very young people. So I don't know where the people in their 40s are because I ain't really seen them. I have no idea where the fuck they reside at. I have not seen them yet. So I've been to the gym. I go to the supermarket. I go to Lowe's and hang out. And I'm pretty sure I could get a sugar daddy if I really wink my eyes enough. I probably could
Oh
got one of
Lord.
them. But I don't know if I want that just yet. I don't know if I want to go that route just yet. I don't know if I want a sugar daddy just yet. So I told Spirit, I was like, look,
I don't know.
I get my temple as a body, and I do really
maybe
do.
you got to go about 2 or 3, 4 towns over. I don't know.
All I know is I didn't sign up to be a nun, so we're gonna have to do something. We're gonna have to shift somewhere. They're gonna have to move somebody in my town because I have not seen no
That's
option.
probably what's going to happen. It's going to probably be
Well,
somebody from out of town,
Well,
and y'all
what's
going to just come across paths. And
what's
that's
4 towns? What's 4 towns this way? What's 4? Maybe you got to go 4 towns up. 4
So if
4
I'm like
towns.
right next to Iowa, so if I keep going into Iowa, Davenport is right there. But Davenport look like a bunch of meth heads running around, and I don't think I want to fuck with
Okay,
them.
well, you can't have nobody with 2 teeth. Okay, what's the other way?
So
I'm trying to figure out what direction we going in. What's if we go up?
honestly, that's going up. So I don't, not fucking with that. So honestly, yeah, I'm the next one where I'm
Okay.
actually I'm moving to Moline.
Okay, wait a minute.
But
Let me find you.
Moline,
Let me find you. Let me pull up a map. Hold on, I
she
got to
about
pull up
to
a
do
map.
her research.
all I know is
She like,
I don't
you know what?
Now-
I'm gonna help spirit out a little bit.
so
I'm
I
gonna
don't
do
drink.
Now wait. Now where you at now? You said you in what, Illinois? I'm
in Rock Island, Illinois, but I'm about to move to East Moline. So I'm actually moving this week.
See, that's where your person may be. Your person may be in that area.
Because they not in Rock Island. I could tell you that fucking much. They damn sure not in Rock Island.
So are you in Chicago though, right?
No, Chicago's like 3 hours away from me.
Oh, okay.
Which honestly,
okay,
I
hold
thought
on.
about going to Chicago because I know you got
No, I'm telling you.
But I changed my mind. I changed my mind, okay?
I got 2 exes that's from Chicago,
like, hell no.
Illinois. One baby dad. Look, one is a baby daddy, and one is a.
I said I changed my mind. I was thinking about it because I was like, man, it's small town. I'm gonna be single for the rest of my life, and I didn't sign up for this shit. So then I was thinking like maybe I'll move closer to the city, but then I was just like, yeah, nope, I don't want them city prices right now. So that's why I left Orlando because I didn't want them Orlando prices.
Oh,
and honestly,
Lord. Oh Jesus. Okay, wait a minute.
I just need to find out what is the most recent dating app so I can have some dating fun. Because why not? You know, why not? Maybe I'll find the love of my life. Who knows? Because Spirit got jokes.
Well, stay away from. Look, wait a minute. I thought I saw Missouri. I about to say I saw Missouri on that chat. I got family in Missouri and they fools. So
so I either see very old men or I see very young men, and I don't want, you know what I mean? Like I don't want someone who got to take Viagra.
What's your age range? What's your age range?
I don't know. I'm trying to think because I am 40 something, but I'm 43. So you know.
Well, you gotta think about it like this. You gotta think about it like this. So women are already mature, fat. Then so
yeah,
you know.
I know.
So even though he may be 40 something, he really more like he 20 something. On the he on the spectrum.
Right.
So
you know,
you might got to go a little older.
In the 50s, I might have to hit the 50s. Hey,
I think that's my issue. My issue is I'm always attracting younger dudes.
Me too.
I attract younger dudes. Like I've done dealt.
The crazy part is I used to attract dudes that was way older than me, right? From my teens all the way to my 30, or 29. As soon as I turned 30, it was like the clock was back, and all of a sudden I had these 20-something-year-olds after my ass. It was like, what the fuck just happened here? You know, I did become a cougar for a little bit.
Wait a minute. Now, if you
that is so true.
Let's see, the 20-somethings is only good if you want your back broke.
Yeah, I realized that in my 30s. In my 30s, I became a cougar in my 30s. And
me too.
I was a cougar in my 30s, and I was having a lot of fun. And that's all they could give you.
I was
they couldn't give you nothing else.
I was 28 when I met my husband. He was 22.
Okay, so you in Illinois.
And I was 28 when I met my husband. And we was together for 15 years.
I'm not trying to be a cougar because one, I ain't paying for shit. Far as I'm not.
You see, there's a difference though. There's a difference between a cougar and a sugar mama. And the thing is, we cougars, we're not sugar mamas. There's a difference. Because I know one thing. Like I said, I dated the dude I was dating.
Yeah, sugar
10
mama.
months ago.
Sugar mama, you ain't trying to buy nobody. You ain't trying to buy nobody.
Yeah, that's different. So a cougar
video
don't pay for
games.
shit. A cougar don't pay for a motherfucking thing. I seen a post like that on TikTok.
I never
Cougars
did.
don't
Like
pay for shit.
As a cougar, it's kind of like, you know what it is. You don't really need to go into it. So it's like, I think a lot of people think now that a lot of men have it in their mind that older women just gonna be buying you shit. And it's like, no, we not.
Oh yeah, that's weird. Okay. I don't know.
So question, have you ventured off to Indiana yet?
No, I have not.
How far are you from Indiana?
I think I'm at least 5-6 hours away from Indiana.
From Indiana?
Yeah.
That's a long distance relationship. That's another thing. I can't do long distance relationships. So I think that's another reason why I don't go on dating sites.
My only problem with long distance is it's real fantasy. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of fantasy, but what's the reality when y'all see each other? And then what's the reality of what, not to say you can't trust someone, but I think it's very hard to establish a relationship long distance.
I think it's no, I can't deal with planned stuff. Like, okay, we're going to plan to see each other 3 months from now on a Tuesday. See, I can't. I'm the type of person when I want to be laid up with my boo. I want to be able to call him and be like, oh, am I going to see you this weekend? Or I'm going to see you tomorrow or something like that. Long distance, I know me. I'm that type of person. I'm a Cancer, so I'm real, I'm real touchy-feely, and I like to just lay up and have cuddle dates, and I'm real that. So there's times where I just want to just lay up and lay on my man's chest. And if you in West Bubblefuck, we got to plan that 3 months from now. 3 months from now, I may not want to lay on your chest. You know what I mean?
So not even like your ass.
Or if I'm going through something and I'm having a bad day, I want to be able to pick up the phone and be like, baby, I need to see you. You know what I mean? Not I need to see you on July 15th, 2023. Nah, that's not going to work. So I think the long distance, I know I don't think I can do the long distance. Like you said, the fantasy of it, I see how cute it is. I see it on TikTok, and they got their FaceTimes and they eat their dinner together and all that. Okay, that's cute. But now I need your energy. I'm
a very physical person also. So
me too.
I need
my love language is touch. So
I don't, because I'm not a talker either. So like I could talk to you, but I'm not going to talk to you about the same shit. So the conversation needs to go somewhere, or it's just like, all right, I'll see you when I see you. Like, I'm gonna see you. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not that person who I just can't do the whole be on the phone with you 3-4 hours. And it's like, okay, but when am I going to see you? That's what I want to see you. So yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Being on the phone and talking, because I don't even do that with people that are in my family. I don't do that to people I know. I don't do the conversations for hours. It's just not me. It's not me. I want to see you. Let's go.
Yeah, that's how I can.
So yeah, I get it. The long distance, I can't say that would be something that I could do, especially if it's not a plan of relocating near me or something.
Exactly. That's my biggest thing. That's what I think. I don't do the long distance because I know I'm not moving. So it would have to be that they're moving, because I have children. So I'm not moving. I'm not going to take my kids up out of school and they in high school and they know what colleges they're going to, and I'm going to move. So I know I'm staying. So it would have to be that he's willing to locate to where I'm at, or why even pursue it? You know what I mean? And there's some people who are not willing to do that. So let's not even waste each other's time. So that I think that's why I don't do the long distance thing or whatever.
I just gotta find I don't do bars. I don't drink, so I don't do bars and stuff like that. Not to say I wouldn't get a drink here or there, but I don't drink like that. So I don't do bars. So I kind of don't know where to go. Like, do I just need to go chill in some museums? Somebody need to tell me. Wait a minute.
Have you what's in Champaign, Illinois?
I don't even know where. Look, I don't even know how. I know the one city I'm in, which is Rock Island. I know Moline because the Walmart is there. And I know Davenport because it's like 10 minutes away. But I have no idea where Champaign is.
Because it seemed like the biggest, looking at this map, it seemed like the big cities is Champaign, Peoria, Naperville, Rockford.
So what ethnicities are in
Davenport? Oh, I didn't even ask you what are you particular? Are you? Oh, I didn't even ask you that. Are you particular?
So I will just say this. Not that I wouldn't date a white man. Okay. I don't want no one to be offended.
Okay.
But me and white men just ain't got along in this life to where, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have that connection with them, and they don't have that connection with me, and it is okay. So I'm probably in the wrong city.
Okay.
I'm probably in the wrong city. Let me see
Okay.
where. Let me see where
I
Champagne.
think that's where the dating site will come in handy, right? Because you get to put your preference in your city. I don't know. I just don't think I have enough courage to do a dating profile.
I don't know. I might need to see what's I need some I'm not fucking with Tinder. I remember I met my twin flame on Tinder. I ain't fucking with Tinder
Oh
ever
shit.
again.
Okay. So
Oh yeah, stay
and
the
then
fuck
I
away
Changed my
from
life
heard.
Tinder.
forever.
Stay
And then,
away from Tinder then.
okay, so I heard that Facebook had a dating something going on. Is that true?
Oh, you know what? I've never looked into that.
I've heard of that too. I've
Is
never looked
that
into it
true?
either, but they
Really?
do, I think, have a dating something, Facebook dating. I think it's called Facebook dating, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. Do they even
Interesting.
still have it?
I don't know. I don't know. I briefly, it was months ago I heard about, but I
Yeah,
don't
me
know.
too.
I
I've heard
remember
about it.
seeing it, but honestly, I've never looked into it. I think people just use social media to date, period. I think that's what they do. I don't know. I'll have to look into it and see. Maybe I'll get
I
crazy
mean,
and make a profile.
I got a single cousin. He about 4 feet tall. I mean,
So about the height, there is a preference. So you at least got to be my height, all right? And I'm 5'7". So
I'm 5'7" too.
I might date someone 5'6", but shorter than that, probably not. I'm saying, hey, we all have preferences, and it is
Yeah,
what it is.
I don't think I've
I
ever
look.
dated
I don't
someone
blame.
shorter than me.
I don't blame you. I don't like little men either because I feel
Yeah, I
like
don't think I've never
I
dated
feel
nobody
like
shorter
you
than
don't
me.
have no power. I feel like you. I feel like I can wear your like. I can wear your clothes. Like I push you down. Like you don't have no power. How you gonna buck up at me? I elbow you in your throat. If you don't get away from me, little boy, like you ain't got no power.
I just, yeah, I could date my height, maybe a little, couple centimeters off of that, but yeah, not too much shorter. I can't.
I don't even like people. Not.
I've
I don't
tried
even think
to
I've
I've tried to
dated
date a
nobody
couple
so much.
short men, and it just
I don't think I've
for me.
ever dated a short man, or even my height. I think they have to been. They've been like 5'9" and taller. I prefer tall dudes though, like 5'11", 5'12", 6 feet, 6'2".
I mean, I've most of, and I know when you're dating, you do kind of have to come out of your norm. So, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
my norm used to be way taller than me. That's 6 feet, that 5'10", 6
Mm-hmm.
foot or higher. But I've come a long ways from that, where I'm actually open to date someone my height, which has never been
Yeah.
a thing. My whole life, I've
Mm-hmm.
never dated somebody my height, because as soon as you put a little heel on, it's been like, no. But I've actually changed to where I'm actually open. 5'6", 5'7", I can do. But once you get to 5'5", 5'4", I probably am not going to be the and in person
And I
it's
think that has
different
a
if you're
lot to do
talking to
too.
someone. Maybe the
When
conversation goes and you might try, but
and then I think it has a lot to do with when you like we're chunky girls. So I don't need no 4'11" dude trying to
trying to
be
saddle
like,
you,
yeah,
trying to saddle you,
you can't be 5'5" because I'm 5'7", but you can't be 5'5". I'm a chunky girl. I'm not. Yeah, that ain't gonna
you
look
trying to
right.
saddle me, and you can't saddle me right.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work. I'm gonna be pissed when I'm throwing you around. You should be throwing me around. Yeah, that ain't.
And I mean, I will help keep my big ass legs up. Look, I know my legs is big. I'm a big girl. You know what I mean? I will assist, but you got to be able to, you got to be able to put in some work. I'll assist, but you
I
gotta
don't
be
need your legs to be buckling up. Don't be buckling up doggy style, you can't hang, buckling up, you can't handle the ass. Nah, your little 5-foot ass needs to go over there.
Oh my God. I
Mm-mm.
can't. I just fucking cannot. I
Nah.
just cannot.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, any recommendations y'all got for me? Y'all drop me a comment, let me know, y'all. Because yeah, your girl said I did not sign up to be a nun, so I'm going to figure out how to put myself back out into society some way so I can meet
Right.
or
That's
just have
how I be
fun and
feeling.
date.
I'm like, I'm on 10 months right now. And the way I'm feeling, I have like no desire to even, like I said, I just think everybody I talk to, I find something that I'm just not willing to sacrifice. I'm just not willing to
Yeah,
play the blind eye for. You know what I mean?
right,
Like,
right.
I'm just not.
Like where I'm at, it's been a year. This month it'll be a year. So where I'm at right now, I just feel I'm in a want to flirt and have fun. Like I don't have like this dream of running down the aisle with no one. Because I feel like I just took all of that out. It is what it is. It is what it is. At this point, I'm 43. It is what it is. I'm okay to be alone if that's what's going to happen. Like, but I want to have some fun right now. I'm in that point where I'm like, you know what, fuck that. I want to have a little fun. So let me go see some museums and movies and shit and talk and get more content for my podcast.
I think like me, I'm 46, about to be 47. And then with my health scare and all that, I think I'm more adequate. And then being married for 15 years,
Right.
I really like being married. I really
Right.
like that commitment. And being separated these 3.5 years, I
Right.
realized that being committed and in a relationship is more my thing. This single stuff, I don't like it. I
Right.
don't. Like
I mean,
I don't.
not to say that I don't want someone, because like when I was younger, I really could be single for the rest of my life. But now I'm at a different point in my life where I look at that like I don't want to grow old, by myself. Like I
Yeah,
want
that's
that
where I think it
person.
is more companionship for
Yeah,
me. Like, and don't get me wrong, like of course sex and all that other stuff, but sex is not the end or be all for me. I guess now because I'm older
right.
and stuff like that, and being married, you done did everything, did every position, being, you know what I mean. So it's not the end
Mhm.
or be all. I still have I of course still want it, but I think it's more companionship,
Right.
like you said, going to those places and having somebody that you can talk and have those conversations with. And I
Right.
always say, like, my person, I want them to be my best friend. So I want to be able to talk about everything. And and
Right.
and I think that's where I'm at. And I think that's what I miss from being married. And now being single for 3.5 years, it's like, yeah, it gets, because you can have those conversations with people, don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
and it'd be cool. But then, you want to have those conversations and go home and lay up with your person or
Right.
have those conversations in the bed.
Right.
And I'm just not there to be laying up with just anybody. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
Because those conversations aren't, I don't know. It's just, to me, that's just where I'm at. I think I'm missing that part of having
Mhm.
that companionship, especially like I
Yeah.
said, with me being, getting sick and stuff like that, even that type of stuff, just being
Right.
able to have adult conversation and, those type of things. Cause you can't, I know with me, I can't, I'm very private. So I
Mhm.
can talk to a dude and he can be cool as fuck, but I'm not gonna tell you my personal stuff.
Right.
But my person, you can be private. You can share your fears and stuff with, when it's your person. So I think that's just kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like, I just need my person. Where my person at? My person,
I
not
need
somebody else person. I
I
need
need
my person.
I need any person, right? No, no, not
Not just
anyone.
any person. I don't want nobody else's person. I want that person that is made just for me, my
I'm
person.
looking for my companion that we about to go off and build our homestead and be happily ever after. That's what I'm looking. I need someone that's good with their hands. They may like to cook. It's not a deal breaker if you can't cook, but I would prefer if you could.
No, it's true that my babies is 15. They got 2 more years of high school. They going away to college. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna be bored as fuck once they gone. So
Right.
it's like, yeah. I mean, my oldest son, of course, will be with me, but he be doing his own thing. So it's like, I need my person. Where my person at?
Yeah, that's the rough part. It's not easy when you got standards to date. Because if you didn't have standards, you'd have
Oh
somebody
yeah. Oh,
today.
trust me. It's true. You know how many people do come, come to you and you meet people, especially on social media, like you say, and they want the same things you want as far as they looking for a wife and they looking for, but then like you said, conversation, and you like, yeah, I can't, because it's like that's one thing, when it comes to females, you could get a dude.
Right. It's a
It's like,
choice
do
to
I
be
want this
single.
dude? There's
Right.
nothing of getting a dude. You throw a picture up there, it's a wrap.
Yeah. Like it's a choice to be single. I don't have
It
to be
is.
single.
It's
I can have
truly a
somebody right
choice.
now, but are they who I want? No.
Exactly. And
No.
it's funny because it's always the ones you don't want.
Of
Like, I
course,
have
they be the
one dude
first
and
ones
he's like,
knocking. I really think Spirit got jokes in this life with me. I'm not gonna lie. I really think Spirit got jokes with me in this life. And I think they tend to send people just to see if
that's
I'm
a
gonna fall for some bullshit. And I
I
just look
swear.
like,
Mm-mm.
okay, so apparently my soulmate's not ready. So we just gonna be in we just
No,
gonna
it's
be over
true.
here.
I've done had people be like, dudes, cool, cool. They cool. They just not my cup of tea. Like, oh, why you just can't let me love you? And I'm like, because I don't want to love you. You know what I mean? Like, you cool, but not cool on that level. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you cool. We can have a conversation, but
Right.
nah. Like, I don't know. It's just
Right. Like I said, my
that's.
standards get in the way of
Mm-hmm.
dating. And a lot of guys, not, they just be like, wait, what? And it's just like, yeah, no,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm cool. I could talk to anyone, but talking is different from dating and then going to the next phase. Like
Exactly.
that's different. And when I made that decision that I was no longer casually dating, I take that serious. Like I'm not casually dating.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not here just for fun. Like I'm dating with a purpose. So you
Mm-hmm.
could have fun dating, right? And understand that you're in the dating game, but still be having that purpose. Like I'm not just here to be fucking. Like I'm not here
Mm-hmm.
because I don't need that. That's not what I'm here for. And when you do say some left shit, that's going to be a game changer for
Yep.
me. I'm
That
sorry.
is so
It's
true.
not, so your money doesn't sway me. That's why I said money doesn't sway me. You can pop off
Mm-hmm.
about how much money you got in your account. That don't make no juices flow over here. Um, you could talk about how good you are. We already know once you start bragging about that, you trash. Because once you start
Mm-hmm.
talking that, it's like, okay. So for me, none of that matters. Like your size of what you packing is not going to keep me. I've proven that
Mm-hmm.
to myself in my life. I don't stay for shit like that. That's not a game changer for me. And if you pay a
Mm-hmm.
couple bills, that's not going to be a game changer if you a piece of shit. Like that's not going to make me
Exactly.
stay. So like the way I move, that gets in a way of dating because again, I'm not willing to just lay up with anyone to call somebody my man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for something that is special and it's more genuine, and you have that chemistry. And I don't think you could just find that with just anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, the few soulmates that I have connected with in that life, it just didn't work out. It didn't work out. We was on two different places. It is what it is. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully there's that, next one is still
No,
out
it's true though. And I noticed that on like when your self-love journey or your spiritual journey, it becomes very lonely
there.
because your standards are very high and you not willing to sacrifice or dumb down yourself. You know
Right.
what I mean? And I think that's what it is, like what gets in my way a lot. I'm not gonna dumb down who I am. I know myself, my sole purpose here on this earth. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna dumb down myself for you. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
when I truly say, oh, I like, and
You're a
I tell
mind
people this all
reader.
the time. Hmm?
Oh, I was telling my husband he's a mind
Uh,
reader.
so it's like when I say, oh, I'm a goddess, I stand in that. So
Right.
when you approach me as such. I'm not gonna dumb down myself. Like, and I
Right.
think that plays a big part. Like even, who I thought was my person, the person I dealt with for 2 years, and same page, same book, different page, I can
Right.
say. And with the children, he wants kids, I'm not having kids, and
Mhm.
that played a part. So it's like, okay, to me, I feel he's my person, my soulmate, whatever. um I say wrong time, wrong
Right.
time. Maybe
Right.
later on, or maybe it should have been before. But
Right.
unless he can love me unconditionally and accept me for not have no more children, that's the only way to work. You know what I mean? I'm not
Right.
having no more kids. I'm not gonna change my way of thinking or those type of things. So it will have to be on his end, and that then maybe. And even to this day, he still checks on me, he calls, we still cool, and the love is there always.
All
But
right.
we both know what it is. He
Yeah.
got his views of wanting to be a dad, having more children. I have my views. I'm done. Like, to the point, next month I'll be getting a full hysterectomy. They're
Mm,
taking my
yeah.
uterus and my ovaries. So like,
Yeah.
I'm done. So
Yeah.
like, until I meet a person who can accept that and be on the same level as me, where they don't want no more children, they probably got big children like me, 22, 15, and you know what I mean, and they
Right.
cool and they done. I can't see me. Even when I be dating dudes and they don't have no children, I would end it before it even starts. And I always tell them, you don't want children. I've been had dudes say, oh, I don't want no kids. I said, now you don't. You're
Right.
going to
Mm-hmm.
want kids 3 years, 5 years down the road. And I don't want to be that person that three,
Right.
4 years down the road, we together and you have a baby on me. So
Yeah.
I end it.
Because
I
that's a
end
rough
it.
one.
And I end it. I end it straight. As soon as a guy tells me, even these 40-year-olds, even dudes my age,
Hmm.
they be 40, 45 with no children. And they like, oh, I
Right.
don't got no kids. I don't want no kids. I'm like, now you say that.
Right.
You may get to a point where you want kids. I'm not having no more kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why
Crazy
even
part is
go
I'm
ahead?
still open to have more kids. I'm not like, yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but I'm not like,
Look at
if
her
I
face.
did, if I did, I did. Like real shit. I'm not closed down to it. If it happens, it happens. But the one thing I will say is my conversation is a little bit different, but it's like, look, I'm 43. There's a chance you may not get a kid from me. You know what I mean? Like that's an honest conversation. Like it may not happen. You know what I mean? I ain't got that many years left. Like, but I would be open. I wouldn't be closed down to it.
No, when I guess for me, even at an early, I guess for me, even at a early on, I always had the mindset that I knew if I didn't have kids by the time I was 25, I wasn't having any. That's always been my mindset that if I didn't have
Mm,
kids by the time I was 25, I wasn't having any. And then when I did get with my husband and we decided to be in a relationship and I did start dating and I like you said, I came across guys that either I purposely dated guys where your kids either had to be my kids' age
mhm,
or older than my children. Then I had to make sure that you didn't want any more children because I wasn't giving you any more. I
mm,
wasn't giving you one. Then I had to make sure, like you said, yeah, you say you don't want kids now, but
right,
don't get in a relationship with me and then later on down the road,
right,
you change your mind. Cause ain't no
Hmm.
changing your mind. No, we
right.
not finna do that. So then when I got with my husband and then his older two kids, like at this time, his older two kids, I was like, okay, yeah, the kids, all our kids was a year apart. It was like, okay, yeah, they're a year apart. They almost out the house. Then where the kicker was when he got to his third child. I'm thinking he's going to say his third child and my third child were going to be a year apart. Oh no. The kicker was his third child was 3 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I said, say that again. And he repeated himself.
I'm gonna
So
be right
for
back.
me at the time, that was to me from in my mind, to me at the time, that was a deal breaker because instantly I went to car seats, making um babysitting arrangements, having to consciously get up and cook for a child. Like I instantly went into all of that because my kids they were self-sufficient pretty much.
Hmm.
So it's like, yeah, this not gonna work. We finna be friends. We just finna be friends only. Yeah, this relationship not gonna go no further. It's just gonna be where it's gonna be at, and we just gonna be friends only. And But everything else had checked the block. It was just that one thing. You got a
Mhm.
whole 3. You in your 40s
Mhm.
and you got a whole 3-year-old. Like, who does that? Like, I
Mhm.
just couldn't get past that. So at the time, um, I was, in my therapy session, and I had got on the subject of therapy one day, and my therapist made a very, very good. She had made me think. She made a very good point, and she was like, "What are your deal breakers?" And I just going on down the list, just have a conversation with my therapist. And she was like, "Well, you know what?" She said, "He's not going to be 3 forever." And I was like, "Huh?" She
Mhm.
said, "He's not going to be 3 forever." And when she said that, that's kind of what made me sit back and think,
Mhm.
and kind of like reevaluate, because that, like I said, that was the only thing. Nothing. I
Mhm.
had an issue with nothing else. The fact that he was 3, I didn't have issue with that. It's just, you got a whole
Right.
3-year-old. So it was, but I knew it was like, I just knew that I just, children, like little people, like I was done. Like, I had like, one, I couldn't have no kids because, like I said, I had a hysterectomy. Like, in at that time, I had a hysterectomy. Like, I think at that time it had been like 10 years. My hysterectomy had been like, so it was like I couldn't wish a baby at that point. So, but it was just like that would, for me, in my mind, I was stuck on that being a deal breaker. But just having a third outside party,
Mhm.
making you sit back and think, it just made sense. But
Mhm.
I think because I always wanted a bunch of kids. That's why I still have that openness about it. You know?
I got grandbabies, so she got grandbabies. Look, there
Yeah.
you go.
That hasn't changed nothing. I just always wanted more kids, and it hasn't gone away.
Get you
So
get you some grandkids. Get some god kids.
I have those too.
Yeah, get some more. Get some more. Get some more.
See,
So
that's how I am. I'm looking forward to my grandkids. I'm
right.
looking forward. Like my babies are 15, so
I,
they're not
I
gonna have
love my I
no
love my
kids no
babies.
time soon. But I'm looking forward to that. And like I said, once my kids became like kind of of age, I had them at 30. So
Mm,
that was like, and I told myself if I don't have any more kids by 35, I wasn't going to have any more kids.
right, right,
And, me and my husband, we still would, not use protection and stuff. And I'm like, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't.
right,
And
right.
it did, and I lost them. So
Mm,
after that, I didn't after that, 2010. And never happened again.
mm.
So I'm like, yeah, it just wasn't meant. My 3 babies is
Yeah.
meant for me. And, that's that. And then being with him, and then just now recently dealing with the dude I was dealing with, it just, and I had a miscarriage, didn't know I had it. So it was just a lot of different things. So I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, babies ain't for no more baby. I'm too old for that shit, for one. For two, my kids are so independent now, and
Right.
so now
Well,
at that age where, because even I thought about adopting. It was funny, me and my ex-husband was talking about that recently, and even about adoption, I'm like, I would adopt, but not a newborn baby. Like
mm,
with me at my age and with my health, I wouldn't want to have a newborn. A newborn baby would need so much of my attention. And
right.
with my kids now, 2 years from now going to college, and, having a little 1, 2-year-old, that's a lot of attention for me
You
and them.
you gotta you have to know where you're at. You have to know where you're at, what you want, the lifestyle. Like I said, I'm not opposed to it. If it happened, it would happen. You know what I mean? It would just naturally, that would be what happens. Um, but I'm not closed down to it. But I think those are the conversations though. Those are the
Hmm.
conversations that you got to have those conversations. And I think women sometimes don't realize that, like, especially dating a man with no kids. You
Hmm.
might want him now because you're striving and all this, but it's gonna come a time when you're gonna sit back like, damn, I'm
Yes.
ready for that family. I'm ready for them kids.
Even
And then,
both ways. There's some women who don't want children now, dating guys who don't want kids, and then later on she want kids. When he told her from jump, he didn't want no more kids. His
yeah,
babies are big, grown in college, and he don't want no more kids. And now she feels some sort of way, but he told you
right,
from jump that he didn't want any more kids. And she
right,
was on board in the beginning, but
right.
now she's at a point in her life where she want kids. See,
Yeah,
I'm the type of person, I'm a realist. So let's end it right now. I don't want no more kids. I'm not having no more
right,
kids. And
right,
like I said, we may be on the same page now, but 5 years from now,
right,
you may want kids, especially if you don't have any. And
right.
I know me, I cannot deal with you stepping out of our marriage and
Mhm.
having a kid. You understand? Because now that's going to end our or relationship. Don't even got to be married. It's going to end our relationship. So now I invested 4 or 5 years into this relationship and it ends due to the fact that you stepped out and had a kid. I
Right,
don't got time for that. Like I really don't got time. I always tell myself, I don't have 15 more years to be investing in something that's not going to go nowhere. I was married for 15 years. You know what I mean? We still cool and all that, but now I'm 46. I ain't got 15 more years or 20 more years to give somebody and it don't go nowhere. Like we gonna work this shit the fuck out. I need you to want it as much as I need it. You know what I mean? Because in
right,
relationships, you're gonna always go through shit. You
right,
know what I mean? People are
right.
different. So in those 15, and like with me and my ex-husband, we grew apart. So those are possibilities. But
Yeah,
because I was married
yeah,
before, I know those possibilities. So now I know how, when I see those little signs that, okay, maybe we are, and kind of, how to try to fix it. That's, I think, the luxury of being married before, if you
mm,
learn from that marriage what
right,
to do and what
right,
not to do, or to see the
right.
signs and,
I think
and
when you're when you meet someone when you're younger anyway, you're not going to be the same person at 40. You're
mm-hmm,
not the same person, right? So it's
mm-hmm,
definitely a different phase of life. Everything that you see is different, and that's why people grow apart from dating in the 20s going into the 30s, because you do change
mm-hmm,
drastically. And a lot of people can't hold on to that because they're not
mm-hmm.
changing together.
Especially when it's one person growing and the other person isn't.
True, and that's
That's
one of
where
the
I
biggest
think the
ones.
biggest
Yeah,
problem, because I think that's where me and my husband went. Like his growth, what he grew to be a man I don't want to deal with.
right,
I
right.
grew to be more self love and self in myself. And that now I realize certain things I'm not tolerating. So my growth was a different type of growth. His growth
Mhm.
was a different type of growth of who I don't who I don't want to date. He is
Right.
not the type of man I want to date. You know what I mean? Like now he's 40 now and he was 22.
Mhm.
And even at 40, he is the type of man I would not date.
Big
So it's like,
difference.
but I do know that a lot of things have like I noticed, to me, our growing apart also played a part of us both working. And,
Mhm.
in this day and age, you have to have that two income families, most, to survive. And
Mhm.
that plays a big part. I would tell anybody who's in a relationship or married, when you're working, look for those type of things. Cause I know that's, to me, where I think it started. Him working overnight, me working morning. I started not sleeping with him because he's working third shift. I work morning shift. When he's coming in, I'm leaving. And for like about 3 years, we did that. And I think I started getting used to sleeping alone
Yeah.
and those type of things. So I know now, if I was to marry again and those type of things happen, to have these conversations, to put these time for us to the side, to learn from that, because that's a lot of people grow apart due to that. He either
Right.
steps out or you stepping out or whatever the situation starts doing for whatever it is you're doing. Like we just grew apart. And then while he was growing, we no longer had a lot of stuff in common. The stuff we did have in common, we no longer, because now I have other things that I like and new things that I like. And he liked new things and it wasn't the same. So it
Mhm.
starts so now I know, though. I know the little signs, I know where it can. So now, to me, the next marriage I have, I know if those things was to come up, how to deal with those type of stuff. And then even from jump now, having self-love and having self. So now these boundaries are done now, because you got to be honest with yourself. When you're in a relationship and you have no boundaries in the middle of your relationship, you start putting boundaries. That other person is like, wait, where did that come from? They don't
Right.
know how to adapt to that. So now it's like, yeah, that becomes a problem. But if you
Right.
have your boundaries from jump, they already know. That's just like, either way, either on either party, his party and or your party. You can't just be in a relationship and then 6 months down the line, you want to switch some shit up because they not used to that, or I'm not used to that. Like, what are you? But from jump, if you put it out there, so that's something I've learned to now. That's why I say when I have these conversations with men,
Mm.
that is a conversation of children, because I
Mm.
don't want children and I don't want nobody. And even with that, oh, well,
Okay.
I don't want no kids. Let's be realistic. Right now, you don't. You see, I'm that person, like what you were saying.
Right.
I'm the
Right.
type, that's the same thing. Like if I meet a dude and his baby is 1 or 2 years old, I'm that type of person who's like, you don't want to work it out with your baby mother. You know what I mean? You don't want to give it another try. Y'all should give it another try. I'm that type of person. Maybe it was this, that, and the third. I give the
Well,
advice and
true, because like, I know how I am as a woman. I'm a very nurturing woman, right? So I
Mhm.
look at it like, too, you have this little child that is going to like me because children love me, right?
Mhm.
And I'm going to get attached to your child. And then you got the crazy baby mama, whatever y'all got going on. You feel like you want to go back. I've attached myself with this child that I'm never going to see again.
Mhm.
And that happened with my daughter's father and his older son, where I was like a second mom. He was included in everything that we did as a family. He was in our family pictures. When I had birthdays, he wasn't excluded. I threw birthday for him, but then when me and his dad split up, I didn't see him no more. I didn't have a
No.
relationship. Me and the mom, of course, didn't talk because she was a friend that I knew. So of course I had no conversation with her, her. So that changed the way I saw things, where it was just like, that's not fair for the other person, and it's not fair for the child,
No.
that you got this child who's used to someone, and all of a sudden this person is gone, and now you've
Mhm.
ripped somebody else out of this kid's life. So for me, I always had those thoughts of like,
Mhm.
no, I don't want to be infused into this child's life. And then me and you don't even work out. Just like I wouldn't bring people around my daughter, because it's like, I don't know
Mhm.
if we even getting through the talking stage to like come and introduce you to my kid type shit. My daughter
Yep.
didn't meet nobody. She didn't see me dating nobody. You know what I
That's
mean?
how
Like, I
I
didn't
am.
bring nobody home because it was just like, one, we ain't even there to where I think I would want to date you in a long term,
Mhm.
Like, I just couldn't do it because I very was protected of, if her own dad can hurt her in that way and leave and not even want to father her, what would a stranger do? You
Mhm.
know? So I just had those things of like, nah, I don't, it's not okay for the kid, and it's not okay. And I've seen a lot of women do it, where I had a lot of friends that, be one guy, then they'd be with the next guy, the kid calling the next dude daddy, and then the next dude daddy. And it's like,
Mhm.
how many daddies is this child going to have? So I
Even with
never thought that was
children,
okay.
like I think children like I know, like the dude I was dealing with for those 2 years, we never introduced our children to each other. He has a son, and that was always, he always used to say, I'm gonna bring him over so I can introduce him to the kids. And I always will put it off, because I always had in the back of my mind, I didn't want them to develop a friendship and then me and him don't last, and now they feel some sort of way, they feel they have to not speak to each other no more, or
Right.
pick sides, because now me and the dude is no longer talking. So I didn't even want my kids to meet his son, and I didn't.
Right.
And now we don't deal with each other, and I'm glad I did it like that, because I didn't want my son and his son to get a bond and play the game and do this and that, and now we no longer talk, and now they feel like, man, should I talk to him, or I don't need to. I don't want my kids, I never wanted my kids to feel like they had to make those decisions. So I never even wanted them to meet. And I'm
Right.
like that. Like, dudes are not meeting my kids. I've done had dudes I was talking to stop talking to me because of that.
Right.
Oh, well, you're not gonna let me meet your kid. It's been 8 months. No,
No.
you're not meeting my kids. No, you're not. You're not even coming to
Like,
my house. Like, you're
nope.
not even coming to my house. And one dude told me that. He's like, yo, you don't take me serious. You never invited me to your house. You never met your kids. And I'm like, whatever, call it what you want to call it. If you call him saying that I don't take you serious because you haven't met my kids or came to my house, that's cool. And we ended
Mm.
it. because of that. Like, that's fine. You know, if that's what you feel, that's what you feel. If you feel I'm not taking it serious, then whatever. But you're not going to meet my kids until I know. Like, if you're my friend, if you're my man and we are committed and we have said, yeah, I'm your girl, I'm your man, then I'll introduce you to my kids. But you're not being introduced to my kids as my friend. I'm not sitting here like, oh, here, look, say hi to mommy's friend. No, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
No.
And then mommy has another friend and another friend and another friend.
My kids have never met nobody.
How many friends your ass got, mom?
Like, and my kids are 15, but I still don't play that shit. And they 15, and I don't play that shit.
Yeah, I couldn't. Me either. And I'm still like that, even though my kiddos is grownish. I'm still like that, where I'm just like, no. If we get if my kids know, if I was to get to that point where they meet somebody, then I must be serious.
Exactly.
I ain't never exactly. So conversations. I'm gonna end this. We had 5 hours. We've been on here chit chatting like a motherfucker.
You know how it be when we get together.
Man, always. I know we got to pick a date for next month. You guys, this Coffee and Consciousness, although I was drinking tea today, once a month we will come together and chop it up. I love having these conversations with you guys. I think Luisa's phone died on her because I ain't see her been. But yeah, man, fucking have these conversations because you can
we got
so much trouble.
Set a date for the podcast for them other topics we was talking about. The podcast for them other topics.
Yeah.
We got to set a date for that.
We also can do some podcasts because some of them I gotta go back because I can't remember all of them. But I'm actually going to be wrapping the podcast and end season 1 and take a break, and then come back for the fall on season 2 on a podcast, which I think will be really, really cool.
Oh, okay.
But I'll probably do some recording over the summer because with school and everything, I have been drowning, just drowning, trying to keep my head above water, especially jumping into an 8-week course. I don't even know why I did myself like that, but
I feel you. Trust me. Like the world is throw some monkey wrenches into your life and shake that shit all up.
Well, you just shit. I've been trying to have a schedule, and Spirit is like, you're not gonna have a schedule. So just know that every day is gonna be a new day, and you just need to go that way, which is horrible for me. It does not work. Why do I got this fly in this house now? We'll never have flies. So when a fly is in here, who's spying on me? But yeah, so I'm trying to get my schedule together. It's not the business. So I'm just gonna take a break on summer from some stuff, regroup, realign, and then start probably in like after I come back from my trip. So that'll be August. In August, I'll start to do some recording for the new season. Yeah, because I'm all over. I'm moving next week, which I'm happy to be moving, but not happy because now I
wish I was moving.
I gotta repack and unpack. I'm so tired of packing and unpacking.
I wish I was moving. Spirit ain't told me to move yet, and I'm ready. I've been ready for over a year now, and I'm still where I'm at.
Maybe it's not time. You know how they tell you this shit?
Divine timing. Trust in divine timing.
When is that? Because right now it ain't divine or the timing.
Me and Spirit, we've been going at it because I'm so sick of their divine timing. I'm like, I'm so sick of y'all shit.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah. So, that's what they say. Divine timing and all. We'll see, right? Katrina's like, nope, fuck that.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Oh shit. I mean, I'm not moving away, but I'm not going to be here forever. I do know that. Spirit's giving me a little bit of
I'm trying to leave the state. I'm trying to unplug and go about 5-6 states over.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to leave Illinois. I'm not going to stay in Illinois. as beautiful as it's been for me and as gracious as it's been for me, this ain't the place where I'm gonna.
I would like to leave the planet, but I don't have a spaceship.
That's a whole nother. That's a
Yeah.
whole nother podcast. That's a whole nother
I
show.
would like to leave the planet. I don't like it here. I like to leave, but being is that I can't do that, I want to leave the state.
So you got to figure out, why are you still there? What?
I look. You remember on the Flintstones with Kazoo? This gonna be my analogy till the day I die. You remember Kazoo? They sent Kazoo to Fred and Barney, and he called them the Dum Dums for punishment.
Oh.
Whatever I did, I feel like I have paid my price, and they need to come back and get me. I done paid my debt to whatever planet that I was on, whether it be what is it? Remember Mork and Mindy, and Mork came from he came from Melmac. I don't know if I done came from Melmac. I don't know if I came from whatever planet Gazoo came from, or what's that Martian Marvin the Martian that was on Bugs Bunny? What is it? Stitch was what number is Stitch? Whoever need to come back and get me. I have paid my debt. Do I need to go get me a My First Sony and a Texas Instrument to send my signal to whatever planet ET came from? Somebody need to come back and get me. I don't belong here.
Well, you apparently got a job to do, because they ain't came and got your
right. Exactly.
This is just disrespectful. Disrespectful.
What state you in?
I'm in Maryland.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm in Maryland.
Maryland is like the one state that looks pretty, but it's
I don't know how it look pretty, but okay.
Yeah, well, I can't say the whole state. I just know there were parts and pieces that I drove through that was like so pretty. And then I had stopped at this AutoZone, and it was so ghetto in the AutoZone. And I was like, how the fuck it look so nice outside? And you come inside this damn AutoZone, and this shit look
I've
like
never been to Maryland. Baltimore. Right? Baltimore.
Ha! Okay, so there's Maryland and then there's Baltimore.
Oh, okay.
That's how that goes. There's Maryland and there's
Baltimore. Baltimore thinks they're their own state.
Yeah,
they really act like they their own state and shit. It's like, you not a state. Baltimore is not a state.
There's Maryland and then there's Baltimore. Yes, that's how that works.
I've never been to neither or.
I have met people from Baltimore, and I will tell you, it's some of the outlandish identities that I've ever met in my life. And you just be like, y'all act like you a whole country yourself. Like, what?
It's so funny. Me and my cousins always talk about when we used to go visit our other cousins that lived in Baltimore growing up, and they'd be like, yeah, we was in danger and didn't know it. Yeah. And it's just like, if you go by today's standards, was our parents like, should they have been arrested? Like,
right? Because at this point, you think everybody would just move the fuck out of there, right? At this point, you would just think people would be like, you know what, we need to move. Like, this probably is not the place to live.
I mean, I guess that's like New York, like the Bronx, Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan. Like, I still don't get why people still in the Bronx. And
New York is a lot different now, because I think there was a time where New York, you actually had neighborhoods that protected neighborhoods, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, now in this day and age, I don't know how. Well, I know a lot of people who left, because a lot of my childhood friends live in different states. So I know a lot of people who have left. I don't know why people are still in the Bronx who is still in the Bronx. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't know why they still there.
This day and age, these motherfuckers don't give.
Yeah, it's done gotten so worse than when I lived there. So I'm like, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, why no? I don't. Whoever's still in the Bronx or still in New York, to be honest, because I know a lot of people who've moved out of New York, live in the South, live in Florida, Miami, North Carolina, Virginia. A lot of my childhood friends, none of them live in New York no more.
Why they in Virginia?
One of my friends live in. Two of my friends
They
live
need
in
to.
Virginia.
They need to ask themselves why they in Virginia.
Yep. Two of my
Yeah.
friends live in Virginia. Three of my friends live in Tampa. Two of my friends live in Orlando. My family live in Miami. I'm here in North Carolina. I have like three childhood friends who live in Durham, North Carolina.
My son,
Um,
one of my sons live in one of my sons live there. My sister lives in Tampa. My mother and other
I don't
sister,
like Tampa. Tampa's dirty.
and my sister lives in Tampa. My mom, a lot of my family lives in Virginia. A lot of my family lives in Maryland. Some in DC. They just everywhere,
yeah, one of my childhood friends,
everywhere.
she live in DC. Like, so yeah, a lot of my
Yeah.
childhood friends, they done moved out of New York. I don't know why people still in New York, but I
I
don't
don't
know.
want to live in no fucking cities
I
because
like the South.
as much as I miss being around cities and being in cities, I do love how small town people actually interact with each other. They nicer. They're courteous.
I think that's why I like North Carolina. I think that's why I like Charlotte, because like I live downtown, like, well, uptown they call it out here.
Which is so
So
fucking
it's like
crazy. It's
different
like,
than if you went to the west side of Charlotte, the south side of Charlotte. It's like you in a whole nother place. So I think that's why I like Charlotte, because
I
at the
think
end of the day, I still get the country feel and then still get the city feel in one spot.
when I moved to Charlotte, it was back in 2006, so it was so different from what it is now, and I didn't like it because I was in my 20s. I was still in my late 20s, so I still needed a city. It was too country for me, and because I'm a white looking woman with a black child, I used to get too many fucking looks, and
Oh
just it was
wow.
just I actually felt like it was a lot of black women that would look at me a certain way. And I would be like, I know that y'all think I'm this white woman with my black kids over here. So I
And
didn't
that's
like
so
that.
wild because it's different now. Now
Yeah,
South
it's a
Carolina,
lot different. It's a
yeah,
lot
South
different
Carolina, they
from
still like that.
Oh,
South
then
Carolina,
you should be tickled when you should see when they look at me and my husband with my grandson.
because
yeah.
South
They.
Carolina is like that.
But
But
the thing
Charlotte now
is,
is so diverse.
But the
Charlotte
thing
is so
is,
diverse.
it's not the black people. It's the other people with and they
It's
be
'cause the
they
other
be
people.
so they be the looks on their faces so confused,
Mhm.
and you know they want to ask, but I guess because he's humongous, and it's like, okay, we not gonna ask this big black man because we don't know how this might go,
Right,
but
right,
then we see this little Caucasian looking little child with
mhm,
these cornrows in his hair. Then
right,
clearly we know she done put in his hair, but do
mhm,
we really want to ask? So then they
right,
just like going on about their business. Okay.
right.
But like with my own kids, I never mind anyone asking. One, it's how you ask. What
Mhm,
pissed me off is the staring.
right.
So
That's what I can't get down with in
that's
Charlotte. Charlotte,
that's
they stare a lot.
Yes.
that was always the quickest way that got you cussed out.
Right, that staring and the looks and
The
looking you up and
stare.
Hmm.
down, looking your kids up and down. It's like,
So then that was so now I don't went from 0 to 100, and now you fit to catch all of it. Cause
mhm,
had you just looked and said, "Excuse me, I'm
yeah,
not trying to stare or I'm not trying to offend you, but if you mind me asking," and then you proceeded with your that never bothered me. At least you took the time, to ask or whatever. Now, if
right,
you just staring and then once I make eye contact with you and you continue, oh, now you finna catch all of it.
I guess my thing
Yeah,
was
you finna
always,
catch
why
all
did
of
it
it.
even matter if, because I know that happened
right.
to my kids out here. They would ask my daughter, is she mixed? And it's like,
Mhm,
see, I'm from New York. We don't get asked that because there's a whole bunch of different of us out there. No one never asks if we're mixed. Like I've
mhm,
never, and I lived in New York all my life. So for, that, I'm like, why does it even matter? Why are they even asking you if you mixed? You know what
right,
I
right.
mean? Like that part I don't like. Cause why are you so concerned, or why does it matter to even
Right.
ask somebody if they're mixed. Like I remember my daughter was little. She was like in maybe second, third grade. And she came home and she's like, Mommy, this girl asked me, was I mixed? And I'm like, you told her you Puerto Rican and black? Like you're black? And she's like, she asked me, was I mixed? I'm like, why are they even asking you that?
It's still a thing.
You said you in North Carolina?
Yeah, I'm in Charlotte.
Oh, because they probably, wasn't it illegal down there? And then two, they
Well,
probably,
yeah,
and
in
then
Charlotte,
probably
in North
still, they
Carolina,
probably, yeah, because they
in
probably
North
still
Carolina,
doing the brown
everybody's
paper
either
bag.
mixed.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it's
They
probably
either mixed white and black. They really don't
Right.
see. They
But
don't
you
have a
know,
lot of Hispanics out here other than Mexicans.
yeah.
So like Puerto Ricans and stuff
And
like that,
then-
they don't know like
Nope.
Puerto Ricans.
and then is they still doing the brown paper bag test?
The
Might still be doing that too.
Oh,
What's
I
the-
don't know.
what's the
Probably
brown
not in
paper
Charlotte.
bag?
Charlotte is now way more diverse. I've been here 11 years and I have seen the change from when I first came to definitely how it is now.
Right.
It's so much
Because I
way
was
more
gonna say,
diverse.
when I moved there, they had just, I think in 2005, had made Martin Luther King Day an actual holiday. It hadn't been a holiday.
Yeah.
And I think,
Wow.
and I remember my daughter was learning in school because we moved there in 2006, but I left in 2009. I left. I was like, I'm done. I can't.
Yeah, I got here
Can't deal with this shit. It's too
2014.
much for me.
2014, I got here. And it's so different. It's like even now there's more Puerto Ricans here. They even have like a little part of a little town where it's nothing but Puerto Ricans, which is different because it was never like that. So now more Puerto Ricans is moving down here. Now Hispanics is not only Mexicans. North Carolina only thought Hispanic meant Mexicans. Like,
and it's so funny because it's so funny because I'm from Virginia and I grew up in Virginia. They automatically assumed when my kids got older, they assumed that my kids were Hispanic. So my daughter got on the bus. She was riding the bus one time and it was, I don't know if they were Mexican. I don't know. I just know they were Hispanic on the bus. And they started talking to my daughter in Spanish. And my daughter, she got off the bus. She was hot. Oh my gosh, she was so pissed. And I was like, what's wrong with you? She was like, I just looked at her and she was like, I am not Hispanic. I am black and I am white. And she was so mad. And I was like, okay, you did not have to go like that. Just let them know. Like you just had to let them know, like, I don't know what you're saying.
Right.
I don't speak Spanish. I'm not Hispanic. I just speak.
Yeah, there's a lot of states that are so not educated on how, how things are so different. We come in all different colors and or you don't have to assume somebody is mixed because they're this or they light skin or their hair is this, that, and the third. And I think that's the way I don't like. That's the part I don't like of the South. In New York, it didn't matter. Like white skinned Puerto Ricans, light skinned Black, Chinese, Indians, like we all lived in the same. So it was never, a thing of what are you or are you mixed or this. So it's the South.
That's not the same on the West. I was raised on the West Coast. On the West Coast, you were either like Mexican, white, or Black. That was kind of it. There wasn't. Now, of course, it's a lot different on who's over there, but it wasn't. And that was probably one of the biggest things growing up. I was mixed, and we're Puerto Rican, Cuban, Irish mix, with Black. So that's not a mix that was out there where we were at. So you didn't fall into really any categories. You know what I mean? You really didn't fall into no categories. You really just didn't.
And that's how it is here.
The South, it's like Black now. With the mixed kids are now more out there now from the mix. So that's why they asked that. Because my daughter, they used to always tell my daughter I wasn't her mother. I would be like, these little fucking kids gonna get on my last damn nerves because she's way darker than me, but her hair. So her hair, she has really pretty curly hair though. So she would always get asked like, what is she type shit,
That's how my daughter, they always asking my daughter, what is she? And my son is way darker than me. So when they see me and they like, oh, your mother's Puerto Rican. So it's like,
Right.
it's weird.
It's sad. It sucks that in 2023 we ain't even fixed race issues in like we started with this shit.
Exactly.
We on gender shit. We ain't even fixed race.
Gotta go. Wait a
we
minute.
doing gender. I can't. So
So
all right.
my daughter is black and white. His daddy is black and German. What do that make him?
I'm black and white.
Oh, well, I guess that answers the question.
Right. He said I'm black and white. Hello.
That
My
answers the
mom is
question.
black and white.
And your daddy is what?
Black and white.
Okay.
Black
So
and
that make you what?
I'm happy.
You happy? Okay. That answers the question.
Okay, it don't even matter.
That's
He
what's
happy.
up. Right.
As it should be. It should not matter. Nobody, race or color. They should just be happy.
Right. Right. See. All right. We are gonna wrap it up. I gotta go eat. I'm hungry.
Yeah, I gotta go cook.
Yes, go.
We can go wrap it up until
Oh,
next time,
miss.
y'all. If y'all missed it, go watch it and then drop some comments and let me know how y'all feel. All right. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. I don't know. We'll have to get the date. I don't got the date yet, y'all. I'll let y'all know when the date and when we come
All
back.
right. Inbox me.
All right. Bye.